What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ace Podcast, where we talk all things art, culture, and entertainment, but specifically pop culture entertainment. I'm your host, Will the Greatest, and with me, I have, let's see, we're looking at a 4-man band here today. We have Marvel Luke.
I think we got a 5-man band.
We got a 5-man band.
Oh, it's my turn. What a dooski, everybody. It's good to be back
What a
this week.
dooski, yo.
You're getting sued. I hope you know that. You're getting sued, Luke.
You know what? Mikey does not have that shit copyrighted or trademarked. I'm pretty sure it's a free expression. Thank you very
Dude, where
much.
is Mikey? We need it. Our 6-man.
He's chilling up in Toronto.
Yeah, man, he's staying safe and Rona free. But as you can also hear, we have our boy Nick, West Coast Nick.
Yep, I'm here.
We got Aaron.
Yeah, was good.
Okay. And we also have DC Luke. Let's see if he jumps.
He will be on a little later.
Yeah.
He's with us,
Yeah.
but not. He's with
But
us.
he's here. He's with us. He can hear us. He's speaking to us from the void of the chat box. But anyways, let's go around, see how we are doing. How you doing today, Luke?
I'm doing all right today. You know, work went pretty smoothly. I had a really good workout today. Did arms, so had dinner. Had actually some beef and noodles for dinner. It was delicious. So
Beefy noodle?
beefy noodles, dude. Yeah, they
Beefy
were.
noodle.
This
I
podcast
had
is
some
sponsored by
beefy-
Beefy Noodles.
The protein noodle.
Get beefed on. The protein of champions.
Yeah. All right. Hey, man, I'm glad things are going well for you. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I mean, this weekend was super busy, or it felt like it was, just because that whole FanDome thing that took forever to get through. Even though there was, like, I guess not that much when you think about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was an interesting weekend. Aaron, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, my man. I just got back from a little vacation, seeing my girl in Florida. You know, Florida hits different than Cali. I'll say that.
I'll bet it does.
Yeah, dude. Went to Disney World. Surprisingly, they got Corona under control over there. They ain't playing with it. And yeah, man, had a great time. Definitely want to go back. Shout out to Wawa's.
You're gonna
Shout out to-
You don't want to get Corona, though.
Bro, you know what's crazy in Florida? The fact that at every gas station, this tripped me out. At every gas station you go to, it was like, you know, there's like how it's normal. You got your coffee, you got your counter and everything. Well, on every counter, they got a big ass crock pot filled with boiled peanuts. You can get a small or you can get a large, right? I'm like, is this a regular thing? I asked even a cop in Orlando, because we stayed in Jacksonville. I was like, yeah, I love me some boiled peanuts. You got to get some for your leave, because I was just like, what the hell? Man, Florida hits different. I'll say that.
Dude, Florida's weird, dude. They had a zombie invasion and, like, all this other stuff happened there.
Yeah, that sounds like Florida. Florida has mad weird shit.
But they got dank food, though. I'll say that. The food is fire. Everywhere I went.
It's the South, bro. Our food is better. Our racism is stronger,
really is.
but our food is better.
I had crawfish beignets. That changed my life. Had some grits at a restaurant, my guy. Changed my life.
Those are really good.
You heard I bet everyone can hear the sultry dulcet tones of DC Luke. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm sorry. God was in my house and I had to fight him, but
He's over here slapboxing deities.
it
I
is
take it he
the
won.
worst washing machine ever. Like it's so
It does
bad.
sound like a small earthquake in your background.
right. Yeah. So
Dude, you
I
got
was
some
just silent.
crottators and
Crottators and
Crottators.
Gumbo
jambalaya
and-
and
Oof.
you
Said
know,
that all
the
weird,
good
made my
stuff.
spirit stir. Jambalaya.
Jambalaya. Right.
Jambalaya.
Have you
Don't
guys
say it
ever
like
had
that. I don't
beans
like
out of the
that.
can?
I don't
Have you
like
ever had
it
what
like
out the
that.
can, Nick?
Have you guys ever brought in porked beans in a can to a movie theater to eat out of the can?
All the time.
I'm praying I never struggle that hard. Where I have hidden sandwiches in my pants in the movie theaters. That's about it.
Okay.
Dude, one time,
What kind?
this is this is like
Like
weird.
a pizza sandwich?
Bro, you
This is
never
like an
grilled ribs
aside
in the theater?
story. What?
Say what?
You never grilled ribs in the theater?
Thought about it.
Grips.
Bro, you ever had a full 4-course meal in a theater? Well, come on
Bro,
down
you
to the
ain't-
Alamo Draft House.
Bro,
The-
you ain't
the
living till you cook
weirdest,
your brisket in 7.
Oh.
Let me tell
Bro,
you
you ain't-
something.
What?
If you got a theater and they got like a menu or something, that menu's garbage. Don't eat at that theater.
I disagree. I disagree.
only one
Because I went to there's a place out here called what's it called? The Simi Valley. Anyway, it's some kind of something.
What?
I'm not gonna waste time trying to remember the name, but it's bomb food. That's some of the bomb ass.
You
burger
love
there,
that AMC
a bomb ass
food.
shake.
The sliders.
Yeah, it's alright.
All right.
It's
Yeah,
alright.
I say
well,
the
how
best
about
movie
this?
theater food is probably Alamo, but it's also like stupidly high priced.
Applebee's.
So
Studio
yeah,
Movie
I was
Grill.
gonna
That's
say
what it's
that.
called.
it's expensive as fuck, but it is some damn good food.
Yeah,
I
was
give them
gonna
credit.
Say, yeah, the price salts the food so that it's like
Right.
unsalvageable.
Right. It's
Spend
like
spend
oh
like
yeah,
$13
three cookies
for
for
a guy.
$9.
Yeah, $13 for a goddamn po' boy. Shit's not even that good.
Yeah. Shit's
What
wild.
about a bowl of jambalaya?
A bowl.
They probably do have jambalaya. At least it's like a seasonal item at Alamo. But oh boy, so we've been talking about movies and movie theaters.
Speaking of crawfish and taters and food.
Speaking of the South, DC fan. No.
Oh.
Speaking of a direct contrast. If anyone's wondering, I'm doing okay.
Dude, we
I'm
didn't
tired
even
as
get to
fuck.
review Lovecraft Country on here.
Oh,
You just
We'll do
reminded me
that
I gotta
next
watch the
week,
second
'cause it'll be-
episode.
We'll get to
I
that
need
at
to watch
some
the
point.
second one. But I want we will get
Maybe
to
not.
Lovecraft Country because I do enjoy it and I do have thoughts. But
You know the
yeah.
weirdest movie meal I've ever seen? Somebody brought in bologna and tortillas, and they made a tortilla. They put the bologna in the tortilla with popcorn and ate it.
Nah, bro.
Bro, you saw
Nah,
my
that's
dad?
offensive. I'm triggered, bro. That's awful.
The smell
How
was
dare
so
you.
bad.
He disrespected
Oh.
like 3 different cultures in one.
I
Yeah.
ain't mad at it.
I am.
Shit, I'd eat it if I was high.
But
He wasn't high though.
I'm-
He was like 80.
that's why. His
Hey, don't
taste buds are all
discriminate.
shattered. His taste buds are dust.
Bro, he has to have that much contrast just to taste something. Just so he can be alive.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking
Speaking
of
of,
people that are
extreme.
direct-
people that are 80 years old and
Yeah, speaking of direct contrast and 80-year-olds, DC FanDome happened this past weekend.
with Aisha Tyler.
Oh yeah, my girl, my queen, nerd queen Aisha Tyler. So we have a lot that happened there. It's weird. There was a lot that happened, but also like a lot of dead time and filler. Like I didn't mind them being like, we're showing off art and we're showing off cosplay. That's cool. I actually like the fan interaction. I guess before we get into the
That's why it's
specific
called
topics.
FanDome.
Yeah. Before we get into the specific topics, I guess just go around. We can go around and say what we thought about the event overall. At least, I guess, since this is part 1. Like me personally, I was pretty satisfied. I think it was good to kind of see the cast and crews of the movies interact with fans. They took the time to show off a lot of fan art and like cosplays. There just seemed to be like even making the whole experience being done from home. I think DC actually did a pretty good job at managing all of that. Even like having hosts from all around the world, I think was really cool to show that there are fans all around the world. So it didn't feel solely based in America, having conversations, do footage. So I thought overall it was pretty good. There were just some things that I was like, okay. Like the one guy who had the panel with Jim Lee, where Jim Lee was like low-key just roasting his art for like 30 minutes. He's like, yeah, this is pretty good. But you know what I would have done? And I'm like, well, shit, are you going to hire him or no?
Yeah, what a great
you called
idea
me,
for a
it's like-
panel.
And apparently this was the winner. He was like, of the 5 people, your art impressed me the most. So I'm going to critique the fuck out of it. And I'm like, I get it. That it's cool to have like, it's cool to get to talk to your hero.
Never meet
but
your heroes.
Right. It's just like, oh man, I was inspired by Jim Lee, and here is like he's getting the chance to, give me his thoughts on my art. But I don't think at one point where he was ever like, oh dude, this is great, this is awesome. He's just like, it's like, oh, there's a lot of nice technique here for you being just a fucking freelancer who does this in his free time. But what I would have done? I would have done like shape it the ha's and ho's and he's into a bat behind him or some sort of like. I'm like, it's still pretty good art. He's better than me. Shit. I just felt bad for the guy.
Why are we here?
But I don't know. What
Dude, they should have had Luke. They should have had DC Luke on that panel with Jim Lee.
So I would have said, Jim, this art's pretty good, but here's what I would have done. I showed him my stick drawing. See, notice the posing. Notice the dynamics here on display.
Man, the way you run DC's pretty good, but here's what I would have done. Would have not greenlit half these.
Did you know the one thing that bugged me though about this whole FanDome is that they completely freaking baited everyone who thought it was gonna be like an actual interactive event, which is what they advertise, like having like different like what is it, like different dome areas you could like travel to and all this shit.
Yeah.
It was just like a
so
live
too.
stream.
That's what
Well, they changed that, I think, at the last minute when they cut it up into 2 events, because I'm imagining that's what it was supposed to be, because there was a whole kids section, and there was a watch verse, and there was there were like 5 different sections, because when you set up the schedule, it's in different places, and now I think because they cut it in half because they tried to do too much for a whole day, that all of that got pushed. But I agree with what Nick was saying.
So was the event not 24 hours when it went on?
It was really about 8, and they re-looped the same 8 hours 2 times to make up for 24.
Well, yeah,
but that was the original schedule too. But
yeah, the
ahead,
problem
Nick.
is that the event that we got on Saturday was just one section. So basically, you can't travel to any of the other pieces of this FanDome event until the next half of it.
Right.
Did the CW shows, did they have panels going on during it?
They were originally supposed to, because there was like a shit ton of overlap with the events. Like I think Wonder Woman, the Flash TV show, and then like 2 documentary panels were originally supposed to be like 1 on Saturday. Because I saw it all overlapped on my schedule. I'm like, well, shit. How am I going to figure out how to watch these? But since they chopped the event in half, I'm assuming that's why they did it. So they can, it's easier to figure out how to do everything. And they might let them get a little bit more details under their belt. Also, it was mostly pre-recorded from the look. I mean, Nick, what else were you?
I think all of it was pre-recorded, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't think there was anything that was live, really.
Yeah, watching it I watched it after the fact because I was hanging out with my girl while it happened. But just watching the different videos, it felt very, how do I say, produced. It felt very produced and edited, as opposed to something that was supposed to feel live, which I thought was odd.
Yeah. I can kind of see that too. I mean, the Lukes. What do y'all think? What were your takes on the event overall?
Marvel Luke, you go first, or we can even tag team it. Whatever you want to do.
Well, I didn't watch the entire thing. I kind of dipped in and out of it occasionally. I just thought, like, man, the whole setup was kind of weird, honestly. It seems like there was a lot of filler in it.
Yeah.
Things that I just really weren't interested in. It's like, man, I would rather be listening to like some comic creators talking about like upcoming comic stories or, just something of that nature. And I know that we have a second day coming that's going to be like that, But,
yeah.
But I would have just much rather had that filler be that instead, which, instead we just got a lot of like marketing stuff and a lot of like, buzzwords and things like that. I mean, it was enjoyable for the most part, but man, I just feel like it was way too long of an event.
Yeah.
And the thing
like,
was
it's like, why even have, like, for example, like, why even have Dwayne Johnson show up and give us a fake trailer? Like that looks like something like just some random 4chan kid made. Like, it doesn't...
No, man, it was a It was a Boss Logic motion comic because he did a lot of that art.
Yeah,
I
I
know,
didn't even
but
know this.
still-
Apparently, Boss Logic's just working with DC now.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he has been for a minute. I think Black Adam was his first official project. But what were you saying, Luke? I'm sorry.
No, I mean that's pretty much all. That's pretty much all I was gonna say. I mean, like for the most part, it was enjoyable. I mean, we can get into the more specifics a little later.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll get into the specifics in a little bit. DC Luke, with the DC in your name, what are your takes?
I liked it. It was way too long. Lot of shit that they did that
Where's the werewolf?
I'm never gonna forget that. They just played a fucking game on.
Wait, what?
When they were doing that, where's the werewolf or whatever? It was like a bunch of the cast of like Wonder Woman were just like playing this game, and it was like for 20 minutes.
What the fuck?
I
Why?
must have blocked that. I did watch that whole panel. I must have blocked
Dude,
the
Chris
shit out
Pine
of that
was
in
on
my
his
head.
phone during the
He
panel.
was on his phone during that. Alright, look. I like the concept of this a lot.
Yeah.
If it was what it was originally supposed to be, with like you can go to the different rooms, that would have been cool. A live stream, not so much. Especially if a lot of that is you're just really padding time.
Yeah.
Like, because part of me is like, why was the Flash movie even shown off there? Like, we got very little about the Flash movie.
We got like two.
No, I did.
concept art, I
That
think.
being said, I do have thoughts given what they did show us. I do have some thoughts
Like,
and
enough
opinions.
to have
Right.
thoughts, yeah.
And we'll get to that too because it's on that long ass list we have.
Hey,
But,
don't jump ahead, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but I do agree with Marvel Luke. I would very much like to see part 2 because I am actually interested in hearing comic creators kind of talk and stuff. Especially
Dude, who reads
Yeah.
comics anymore, dude?
Well, especially with all the stuff that's happening now with DC Comics, with them getting like down.
They fired 600 people in a day.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was actually very interested because they kept talking. Jim Lee kept talking about freedom of creativity with creators, and the entire time I'm thinking, I think Christopher Priest would have a different story.
Was Christopher Priest
Yeah.
fired? Or wait, what?
He got fired,
Okay,
dude.
before.
Fired, but
God damn it!
Dude, I heard
Yeah,
Jim
he
Lee
should've
beat him up in the
just,
parking lot and threw him out the door.
It's funny
Jim Lee-
because Jim Lee was on the Milestone panel, of all things.
He should have just. He might as well have just came out and said, "Hey guys, I didn't get fired. I'm still here." So, yay me.
Also,
Jim,
again, to
Jim Lee was
note-
showing up a lot.
yeah. To note, Jeff Johns nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
dipped out, dude.
That was very strange. I'm
The
rather
allegations
surprised.
against him.
I mean, was this recorded so far in advance that they didn't? Because the Jeff Johns stuff has been going on for like a month or so, right? Like ever since.
Yeah, before that.
Yeah.
I'm imagining this was pre-recorded at the latest within the past week.
Yeah. So.
Given that they had to edit it all together with the transitions and organize all the like international stuff.
Yeah, so if that is the cause, I'm very interested to know where Jeff Johns stands with the company right now, because a lot
He's
of the
probably
things being
hiding.
said- a lot of the things being said about him are not great, but
But that Three Jokers book came out today. Just as a side
did?
note,
right,
Wow.
I didn't even
After
I didn't
all
even
this
know
time?
that.
as of us recording. Oh wait, did it come out today? Oh no,
Maybe it's tomorrow.
It comes out.
Oh,
Okay.
tomorrow.
So
Okay.
by the time this episode goes up,
I know. Wait,
yeah.
did it come? Wait a second.
I don't think
Did it come out today? Because I remember, I checked Twitter earlier, and it was trending like panels from it and stuff. So I was like, wait a second, what?
I mean, maybe.
Oh, I
early
forgot
stuff
about
came
that
out,
panel.
but I don't think it officially.
Did I
came
see that
out?
bit?
Let me see.
I'm trying to think if I
Who
even saw
cares
that
anyway?
panel.
It's gonna be awful.
Who cares?
All right, so let's actually get into some of the meat of this. I want to start off with the games. So we got 2 formal announcements for games that have been rumored for a while. We have Gotham Knight from what is it? Montreal? What's the not Rocksteady Montreal?
WB Montreal, yeah.
Yeah.
WB Montreal.
I
which
think
is
Michael worked on it.
It appears to be. So here's the weird thing. Apparently, Gotham Knight isn't set in the same universe as the Arkham game,
No.
but the Suicide Squad one is. But we'll
Yes.
get to that in a sec. So Gotham Knight looks like it's looking like a 1 to 4 person, kind of like Avengers. It's like their Avengers, but with the Bat family, and we have Barbara Gordon, Red Hood, Nightwing, and apparently Tim Drake. I thought it was Damian until I watched them show the gameplay, and it was clearly Red Robin. So I'm like, someone gave a fuck about Tim Drake. That's nice to see.
And they gave one of
Batman
his suits is like
they have
the
to protect the
alternate
city.
one too, right? From the comics, where he has like that hood thing.
Yeah.
The really bad
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Drake suit.
He looks like a duck.
God, what a stupid name.
Yeah. Anyway.
But a Drake, if you will. But yeah. So what are our kind of thoughts?
Thoughts, impressions.
Yeah,
can I go first?
No.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's coming out 2021. Go ahead, Luke.
I just gotta say, I just want to start off. All right. So, just to clarify real quick, I don't think it's actually 4-player co-op. I think it is only 2, based on what the developer I think said during gameplay.
Okay.
Which was with Batgirl and Red Robin. So we got to see some stuff. It is looking very Arkham-y in terms of style, which, I can appreciate that. There is one thing that sticks out to me that really makes me nervous is the level cap over enemies and the damage numbers from hitting them.
That was kind of odd.
I hate that in games, and so seeing that made me get flashbacks to like the new Assassin's Creed games, and
so level caps and
RPG-like.
so you see how much damage you're doing to them? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So like
it shows
how much
the
damage you're
output.
doing, but it also tells me that you're going to have to really grind for like armor and experience just to take on different types of enemies and stuff. When I don't know. I don't like that gameplay. I don't like that sort of. To me, it feels like you're holding. It feels like you're holding the player hostage to get them to keep playing your game. And if people like that, that's fine. But I never really enjoy that. Needless to say, I'm also kind of burnt out on the Arkham games in general. And this just looks a lot like more of that. So if you are excited for that, it looks almost like a semi-open world version of that. Even more so than a Arkham Knight. And there's actually people on the streets now, so there's that.
Civilians, time to beat their ass like Batman.
You can run over.
The hell was
I think
that?
Like one issue, one big issue I had with the Arkham games, kind of echo what Luke said, is that I think that the world just didn't feel lived in. It didn't feel organic. It was very it was semi-open world. At least Arkham City and Arkham Knight were semi-open world. Again, like they were dark and empty, and it just didn't really feel like much was going on. There was a lot of in-game reasons, like excuses why there were no NPCs, but still, I think that's just a cheap way of getting around extra work and probably, budget constraints and things like that. But, there does seem to be some NPCs walking around in this new game, which is cool, but, the detail of how many NPCs looked really low. The number of cars on the streets looked really low driving around. So, man, is it going to feel like, there's been a lot of video games, that try to, replicate like an open world where there's like 10 cars or something in like a 3-block radius, and it just makes it feel, empty still. So, and you're right, it's more Arkham, but even though it's not like in the Arkham universe, which I find to be
weird,
really weird, because like, why
even
would you
the name
continue with
Gotham Knight?
Yeah.
Or Gotham
Why would
Knights.
you continue that and not have it be? But then you make the Suicide Squad game, and that's the game that you want to be in the Arkham series. Okay.
Yeah.
Which even tonally, they're inconsistent. I'm like, wait a minute. So the one about all of Batman's family, his progeny that we've seen, that has the same tone and same fighting style, is not in the same universe. While the one that looks fucking weird and would make more sense to be a standalone, but I'm pretty sure it's because they wouldn't let him do a Superman game. They're like, fine, fuck it, we'll kill him. But, I mean, I don't know, Luke. What were some of your other?
You know
thoughts
what I do
about
think's kind of cool?
the
The very brief glimpse that we got of Superman was the iconic like look of like All-Star Superman. I don't know if anyone caught that, but that looked very like 1950 style like Superman. I really like that. That aesthetic was really cool.
What?
But...
From
his suit from his suit
The
to
Suicide
the
Squad
cape.
game.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
to-
Gotham Knights still.
We were kind of comparing the two.
We were just making a brief comparison, but because I still want to get Nick and Aaron's thoughts on it.
Well, and again, what I find is really weird is that like Arkham itself was like in this self-contained Batman universe, right? And
Right.
to have it just be expanded, it's like, oh well, here's the Justice League, here's Superman. It's like, wait a minute, we got like almost no mentions of any outside DC characters in the other Arkham games. Like to me, that's just fucking that's weird, man.
Yeah, no,
That's
wait,
really
there
weird.
were Easter eggs for all of them, though.
Yeah, Easter egg, sure, but there was no direct, like, yeah, Batman's in the Justice League. The Justice League is an established thing. Here's Metropolis. Here's these other side... Like, they never once made Superman or Wonder Woman or Green Arrow, like, make appearances in those games. You know, to give us an idea of how large the Arkham universe is. It felt small. It felt contained. And just to have it be like, okay, here's this game, here's all this shit now that, you know, we could have put in the other games, but we just didn't. And then to have Gotham Knights, you know, just be Arkham again, but I don't know, dude. It's weird. It's really
Well, I think
weird.
they were supposed to be like that because they want you to feel kind of isolated as this lone hero or like one or two heroes because Batman's world is Batman's world, you know. And I feel like if they were to put Superman in it, kind of would make the stakes of the situation less dire.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's why.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I understand that, but like, you know, going through those games, you're Batman in Batman's world, right? And again, if now they're just throwing us the Justice League, well, where the fuck was the Justice League when you needed them in the games then? Like, you know what I mean? Like
They're all
like-
fighting Starro and shit, man.
like,
And
no,
Amazo.
like I hope there's some in-game explanation, like they were, you know, trapped in the negative zone or some shit, you know? Like
Actually, that'd be
Right.
really funny.
or the Phantom Zone, I'm sorry.
Ba-
You know, they were
Batman-
trapped in the Phantom Zone or
Batman
there's-
dies, and the next day they come out the Phantom Zone like, whew, thank God, we're finally free after all these
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, and it's like, well, wait a minute. You guys should have there should have been some mingling here in the Arkham games, even if it's Batman's universe. You know, it's like now you just
The
open
Batverse.
the floodgates. You just open a floodgates to a bunch of potential retcons and older plot lines.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me hop over. Aaron, what are your thoughts about Gotham Knights?
Dude, I'm so glad this
there were
isn't
these
going
two
up on like
trailers.
the
Okay.
HN YouTube because Luke would have got so flamed.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Aaron.
Aaron, what are your thoughts, man, on Gotham Knights?
Well, I'm looking at the gameplay now as we talk because I only saw the initial trailer. I think I mean, graphically, it looks cool. It looks interesting. My initial
Looks like a
problem I was
PS4
going
game.
to say, yeah, exactly. I was going to say my initial, I guess, gripe I had with it is the characters didn't look like the cinematic trailer. Like Bruce Wayne looked really good, but the characters themselves didn't look like they really emoted. But while watching the gameplay trailer itself, the graphics do look a lot better. They do look really cool. So I'm surprised I didn't see this on the day of, which is it's pretty surprising.
Oh
But-
yeah, because they aired it during the panel.
Wait, say that again?
They did air the gameplay during the panel, like right
Oh,
after
okay.
it was like a 2-minute gap. They're like, oh, let's show you some gameplay. That's the cinematic.
Yeah. Just to kind of give a little bit more context. This is also pre-alpha footage too.
Yes.
So people are, or at least it's
Pre-
advertised as
pre-
pre-alpha footage.
Some early
It looks
alpha.
it looks cool. The gameplay
Yeah.
looks really cool. I just hope that with them having at least 2 players, that they don't go the way of other games and totally eliminate couch co-op. So I think this would be a really fun game to play
Yeah.
in the same room
yeah.
as a friend.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's what I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, but that being said, I do think looks like a Batman game. I played little bits here and there of the Arkham series. It looks cool. I'll be honest, it didn't get me super jacked and excited like the Batman.
What are you more hyped for,
did.
this or Miles Morales Spider-Man game?
Oh, bro,
Miles
it's not even a
Morales,
contest.
without a shadow of a doubt.
It's not even a contest. Miles Morales,
It's not even a
hands
contest.
down.
Well,
Yeah,
Nick,
fuck the Batman.
what are your thoughts?
Miles all the way.
Batman.
Yeah, Nick, what are your thoughts on Gotham Knights footage that we saw? Is it a day one pickup for you with day one DLC of Batgirl Burnside outfit and Nightwing ass chaps DLC?
No.
No.
No, I mean, I'll probably get this game at some point. The coolest thing to me is that it's to have the Court of Owls in it, because that was like the best part of the trailer. Just
Yeah,
the
that
way
was
they
a
did
really
it and
cool
everything.
inclusion.
That was pretty dope. If I can just say one more thing, I feel like the
No.
more interesting thing to me is the fact that
Shush.
boo.
We need to give Luke more
Transition.
time to rant.
Transition time.
Let's jump back to Luke.
We'll be here the whole hour just arguing over Gotham Knights. Not even arguing,
Luke,
just agreeing.
Luke, how do you feel about Ben Affleck's Batman? No, what I was gonna say was the interesting thing. Fuck you, it's my time. The interesting thing was the fact that both games seem to be kind of team-based games. It's like both studios did Batman games previously, and now they're both, one being the Bat Family, which is like a co-op thing, and I imagine the Suicide Squad game is going to be very similar in the fact that you're going to play as multiple members of the squad, and you can potentially play with your friends. Which I'm like, okay, it's interesting that both are taking that multiplayer route to it.
Yeah, they said Suicide Squad has 4-player, right?
I imagine they're going to have more members of the squad than those 4. That's a pretty small squad.
They better have.
Them.
I like so we can go over and start talking about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which we didn't get any gameplay. We only got a previs, not even a previs, just a visual.
We got a Sunset Overdrive trailer.
Yeah, basically that's what someone in I think during the tweets was saying, is like, it looks like Sunset Overdrive, which isn't bad. It looks fun. I like the lineup. It seems like a nice, diverse kind of blend, but it does. They both kind of seem like different takes on DC, trying to be like, well, we don't have an Avengers game. We need an Avengers game. Do one with Batman's friends and do one with Batman's enemies, and now we have these two.
Exactly. I thought. Did anyone else, when they first saw Brainiac in the trailer, think of
Injustice?
Think of Injustice 2? Yeah. It looked like the Brainiac
That's exactly what I thought. I thought they were announcing Injustice 3. I was like, what?
Exactly like the fucking thing from Injustice 2.
Or
it might be the same model. If
in
not
my
close.
mind, I thought for a second that maybe this is like a spin-off in the Injustice universe, because honestly, that would kind of make sense.
But NetherRealm Studios
the art
doing
style
a
looks
fighting
like
game?
Injustice. Well, the art style looks like Injustice. It doesn't look like the Arkham games. Maybe because it's been a while, but I'm like, I didn't get that vibe from the Suicide Squad trailer.
Did anyone else notice too that they made Harley Quinn look exactly like Tara Reid?
Tara Strong.
Tara Strong. I'm sorry. What
that's
Tara
him. Like, bro,
Strong.
you remember what Tara Reid looks like from Sharknado and American Pie?
No.
I was getting Margot Robbie vibes.
I don't like her voice though.
No,
Tara Strong?
I'm saying the way that her face is modeled. Her face looks like Tara Strong.
It might be. I mean,
maybe
I'm
a little
sure
bit. I'd have to go back and look.
She looks just like, you know what it looked like to me? It looked just like the model they used for Injustice. It looked like the exact same Harley Quinn model.
That's what I thought. I got vibes from the Injustice model, which I'm just like, so they just repurposed it.
Yeah, I think a little bit more expressive. Nick, actually, kind of talk about that. I actually really liked Tara's performance here. Like, she's gotten a lot better with Harley over the years, because she's like
subdued
I
it
think
some.
when she took over in Arkham City, it was like it was a little stilted, and she kind of was going back to the kid voice. I think she's gotten a lot more comfortable with it because
No,
she
Margot's
sounds
voice.
like. What's up?
Oh, the Margot Robbie Harley voice.
Oh,
Margot Robbie's
She's
best
like Discount Jack
her
Sparrow meets Deadpool.
her best Harley voice was in Wolf of Wall Street. But I kind of going to what Luke was saying. I think with Tara's voice, she was initially trying really hard to do Arlene Sorkin.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what, rather than more so doing her own take, she was trying to be the successor to Arlene.
What about Kaylee Cuoco voice?
Kaylee Cuoco,
Her-
Kuaku.
I'm not a huge fan of it, ideally. However, there is some nuance to the performance, which I think is
it's
interesting.
fine. It fits.
It's fine. It's serviceable. I don't
Anyways,
have any
the
complaints.
Suicide Squad game looks awful.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, we're the Avengers, but we're killing the Justice League, which
I'm interested in seeing it. but I would need to see actual gameplay though.
yeah. Because I'm thinking it's probably, like you said, it's probably like a Sunset Overdrive with Suicide Squad and
but
the
what
roster.
the hell are they gonna
For
do
a
against
while-
Superman though?
For a while, I was thinking that it was like gonna be like a first-person multiplayer kind of thing, like that
Like-
Avengers
like
game was gonna
Warzone?
be. No, not like Warzone. Like that Avengers game was gonna be.
Right.
But I mean, I guess we'll have to see because I mean, like again, if Rocksteady's doing it, then like you'd have to imagine they. Like that's the thing. I don't know if they're gonna just do the Arkham engine that they've been doing, or if they're gonna do something like completely new from the ground up. Because this is their chance
Dude,
to
they
like.
should use
really, I
Unreal
think-
4 or whatever.
Unreal 4, yeah.
I have a hot take here.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm sorry. Continue.
Do you have a McGriddle?
No. I was pretty much done.
I was gonna say, you know, initially, when I hear the traditional old school Harley Quinn voice, after seeing like Margot Robbie and the Harley Quinn show, I don't really like the OG voice anymore. I don't like it's too I don't
Really?
Wow.
know. Yeah,
Really?
That's blasphemy, brother.
I like a more tamed voice. I don't know. I think it's kind of annoying. I'm like, I like.
What?
I don't know. I like the way she sounds in the Harley Quinn show, and I like Margot Robbie's one. It still has the accent, but it's more
hilarious
tame.
that you say that. It's hilarious you say that because Harley is based off her voice actress. So
I don't know,
like
man.
that-
I think it's more tame.
like her name Harleen is from the actress Arlene, and the voice is because she was a soap opera actress. So it's like that's like what they made Harley inspired by her. So it's like well, I don't like the OG. It's like, well, fuck, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I don't like her. Fuck her. Fuck her.
No, don't say
You
that.
just don't like an integral part of the character.
Dang.
Look, I'll
Shots
just
fired.
say
Yeah,
it's interesting.
take.
I'd never heard that perspective before.
I've
word.
never heard that.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know.
do you like
I
the
gotta
Margot
custom
Robbie
to it.
voice?
Margot's got
You know,
better.
we're talking a lot about Harley Quinn. We're not really talking about the Suicide Squad game.
Oh yeah, how we
Yeah,
got
who
like
cares,
Darkskin,
though?
Deathstroke, and Deadshot, King Shark, Captain Zoomerang.
Zoomerang.
He's a zoomer.
I mean, he literally zooms around because he has like a teleportation boomerang, which somebody had. I think the guys from Mr. Sunday Movies, I watched their take on it. They said, well, what if he channeled some of the Speed Force into his boomerang? I'm like, wait, that actually sounds really cool.
Dude, speaking of the Speed Force,
Wait,
there
how
was a
could
static shock
Captain
movie.
Boomerang do that? How is he moving like that? That's what I wanted to know.
I don't know. It looked like teleportation or some type of fast travel.
It's a
It looked-
gameplay mechanic. It doesn't matter.
yes. Yeah. Oh no, I just think it's cool. I'm just curious as to like what the explanation is. I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with it. But yeah, they all have their gameplay mechanics for like melee and long distance attacks, and then how they travel from place to place, which they're clearly on display. I guess my question for everyone is: do you think they're really gonna kill the Justice League in this game? Because my vote is no.
Hell no.
They're just gonna like
Fuck no.
it's like, bro, you're not just gonna kill Superman and then be like, now can we have a Superman game?
I think this is going to be. I know they say it's in the same universe as the Arkham games, but I feel like it's going to be like an Elseworld story. That's like I don't know, man.
Here's
what it
actually
They
feels
my
can't kill the
question.
Justice League. How are they
Yeah.
going to kill the Justice League?
Yeah, so that's actually my big question. Is Batman dead in this game?
I suppose we'll find out. What if it's like a midquel? Like it's set between city and night somehow? And he just
I don't
never
care.
talks
I
about
haven't
it.
played Night, so you can spoil it for me. Is Harley Quinn in
Okay.
Night?
Yeah.
Okay. So it has to be after Night now. Because wouldn't she belong to the squad?
I mean, Harley-
it depends. Arkham
Well,
Origins,
Harley's
they
in all
set
3
up
games.
the Suicide Squad in that, but
So it's between
It's hard.
Origins and Asylum.
so literally
Clearly.
between the
Clearly
first
that's
game and the
what it
last game. That narrows it down,
It's-
yeah.
It's somewhere between Origins and Night. We're not
Somewhere
sure. But...
in the timeline.
It's the most useless fucking thing.
Right. Batman just blocks everything from this game's events out of
because
his
Harley
mind.
was on the team in Assault on Arkham, and King Shark died in that, I think. So I
Yeah.
guess that's not canon anymore.
Oh, that is canon.
Fuck, Assault on
What?
Arkham was canon to the games, wasn't it? I almost forgot that.
It was supposed to be. I guess not anymore.
I mean,
What?
Yes.
yeah, King Shark is a shark.
Wait,
I
wait,
forgot
wait.
that. But
Well, we can't use that Origins post-credit scene because that was linked to a separate game that Warner Brothers Montreal was making at one point.
Yeah.
oh
that-
my
that one
god,
got
whole
canceled,
friggin'
though.
history on that.
Jesus. So no,
What?
so just we're just throwing canon out the window. Canon doesn't matter for this game.
We have to move on.
Yeah, we can.
He's like, I'm done with you bitches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's try not
speaking
to go
of
into-
canon, there's a
try not to
Static
go into
Shock
a rant.
film, apparently.
So okay, I need to clear this up. Did anyone else watch the Milestone panel?
Nah, I
No.
turned that off. I
No.
muted it.
Okay, I guess it was just me. So the Milestone panel had a lot of interesting stuff in it. It looks like Milestone is coming back as like a subdivision of DC, which they are. Like they're having more comics starting in February of 2021. They're relaunching new titles. We're getting a online comic for Static as well as a regular one. Reginald Hudlin and Dennis Cohen, I think, are working on an Icon and Rocket series.
Yes.
So the
Ew,
thing about
Reggie
this,
Hudlin sucked.
maybe he's gotten better. I'm trying to be optimistic. I like some of his writing, but
I'm
the thing,
just happy Icon has something again.
right? That's what they said. So the,
That's what they
That's
said at
what
the
they
panel,
said.
yeah.
That's
no,
what
they-
Jim Lee
they-
said. It's
Anyway,
like,
yeah.
I'm so happy
So-
we're doing stuff.
about the Static thing, I'm pretty sure it was either Dennis or Reginald. They said we want to do a Static Shock full budget feature film with like money and effects and stuff like that.
With money.
Yeah, they
I would
said
hope
they
so.
want to do a feature film. They neither confirmed nor deny that it's happening, and a lot of people have ran with that. I'm like, did you listen to what they said? They just said they want to do one.
Oh, they want to
didn't.
do it? Oh, that what?
That doesn't mean the
that?
same thing as that they're going to do it. But DC announces shit out the blue random, so I don't know. But based off what they said from their lips, it's that they want to and are making plans to do a big budget Static.
They should
did
just
not
get
give a
Jaden
date or
back
time
for
on.
the web show.
Huh?
Remember they have scripts for the web series with Jaden?
God no. Ugh.
Just do that.
Please don't. Let's rewrite those
Please
shits, but
don't.
don't cast Jaden Smith.
Yeah, cast Jaden.
No. I'm very much against it.
Well, he has acting chops from After Earth.
That's the opposite of what those are. Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about a Static movie. I'd love to see a Static movie. I made a comment on one of my friends' pages because she posted about it, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to play Static. She said I'm too light skinned to play Static, which spun me into a whole other conversation. Here's a weird thing. Have you ever noticed that there's no like light skinned black superheroes?
Well, this is a whole different discussion. I do notice that
It's just a minor side note. We'll go back to
I was
Static.
just gonna say, I noticed that they tend to. I don't think the term whitewashing would be appropriate. They tend to draw black characters lighter than they should be sometimes.
Yeah. because it's happened with Storm.
Why do they keep? They always have lightning based powers too, right?
I will say
it's a weird coincidence.
I will say I did appreciate that in the 2018 Spider-Man game, they did make Miles lighter skinned because he is mixed, which I thought made sense.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't consistent with the rest of the other stuff. That being said, he looks a little chocolatier in the new game.
He's pretty strongly dark skinned in both the movie and the comics.
Looks a little chocolatier.
What a beautiful chocolate man.
Wait, Will.
It's a good quote.
Wait, Will.
Yeah.
Wait, what are your thoughts on Darwin and X-Men First Class?
We're not gonna go into that. We're talking about
Adapt to this.
We're talking about we can talk about that at the end. What are y'all thoughts about a Static movie? I would like to see a Milestone universe.
Let's jump over to Marvel, Luke.
Yeah, probably not run by Reginald Hudlin. I like him enough, but I don't need him to do a whole universe. I'd rather give it to like Dennis Cohen. God rest Dwayne McDuffie's soul. I wish he was still around to see it. I don't know. Give it to Aaron McGruder. Have him do a Static Shock movie. That'd be fucking wild.
Spike Lee's Static Shock.
Please, God, no. I don't want Tyler Perry's Static Shock.
Tyler Perry's Static Shock.
Yeah, they should do that.
Actually,
they should get Tyler Perry for it.
I do have a director who I'd want to do it. Have you guys seen the movie Sweetheart? Or do you remember that movie Slight that came out a few years back?
No.
It
So
sounds
Slight-
familiar.
Slight was a movie about a black kid who kind of had like powers related to they're like magic, but it was a little bit more like sleight of hand.
I think I remember this.
Yeah,
Boot Riley's
like
Static Shock.
A black teenager. I think he'd be a good director for Static Shock. Who should play him?
But no.
Somebody said Caleb McLaughlin, and I'm like, that's actually a really good pick because he can act his ass off.
Yeah. You know who? Okay, in all seriousness, you know who I would love to see direct a Static Shock movie? Just who would I think he should take a hand
Joseph
a note from? No, I think he should take a hand from James Gunn. Ryan Coogler's Static Shock.
Yeah, I watched the fuck out of that. I was actually thinking that as you said.
But his
like,
Black Panther movie was whack, though.
I think his Black Panther was good. I don't want Ava DuVernay Static Shock. That would be scary.
Hell no. No.
It'd just be gang violence for like an hour and a half, and then he gets his powers. It's like, and now we need to talk about the prison industrial complex and how it affects Static Shock in North Dakota. Like, fuck, man, I didn't expect to cry. Why is this movie about magic-powered gangbangers?
What about, actually, no, my pick to direct and write it would be, oh my god, what's his name? He directed The Mandalorian. Oh, Rick Famuyiwa. Remember he did Dope? He did that movie Dope.
He'd be a really good pick.
He would also be
really good. Yeah, Rick Famuyiwa was a good pick. Coogler's good. What is your judgment on a potential Static Shock movie?
Marvel Luke, what do you say?
I mean, they didn't really announce it.
No, they didn't. But I mean,
so like, okay, here's my
was
thing,
our
man.
way.
They said we'd like to
Static
make
Shock
it.
movie.
Here's my thing. Y'all remember
They said
like a
we'd like
week
to
ago
make
when
it.
DC's like, hey guys, we got this super secret we got these super secret movie projects we've been working on. Guess what? DC FanDome's right around the corner. Guess what? We're gonna announce what they are. You guys never even heard of it before. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be awesome. Alright, cool. 8 hours go by. DC FanDome. No secret movies. No announcements.
They're saving it for part 2, Luke.
Oh yeah, for the comic
clearly,
panels.
Yeah,
Sure.
for the comic and TV panels, that's when they're gonna announce
Absolutely.
it. They're playing us.
You're right.
They cucked
You're
us on
right.
purpose
Yep.
so they can let us
Yep.
come later.
They cucked us. Yeah.
All the speculation, all the conversations on Twitter, all that meant nothing because we didn't get any announcement at all of nothing.
I want to see Gary F. Gray's Static Shock.
We got a Boss Logic trailer.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Would anyone want to see Denzel Washington Static Shock?
Hell yeah.
It's just fences again. Here, was it F. Gary Gray or was it David Ayer that did Training Day?
was David Ayer.
Ayer.
No, Antoine Fuqua directed it.
Oh, Antoine Fuqua. Okay, Antoine Fuqua
No.
is for. Was
Did
it?
he?
Yeah.
I think so.
I thought it was Ayer.
No,
I think
Ayer
Ayer
only
was
wrote
a
the
writer.
script.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, okay. I
I
got
think-
it. Okay.
I think tone-wise, Fuqua may be good as, I don't know about a writer, but maybe a director, if he's pulling a little bit from Training Day, only in the aspect of, I think Fuqua can kind of direct that type of environment that Virgil Hawkins was growing up in.
Hey guys, we're DC. We're gonna show you guys some films. Yeah, okay.
Oh God.
He's still mad about them not showing the movie.
Why do you sound like a country goofy?
Hey everyone, Editor Will here. So the next part of the conversation has to do with Wonder Woman 84. I just kind of have had to edit a couple things. Things just got a little off and weird and distracted in this episode as well. So yeah, the remainder of this, we start going into Wonder Woman 84. So here's the rest of the show.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Well, I guess I'll fill in. No, I didn't. I think I watched most of the Wonder Woman panel. I didn't. I thought it was weird. They played like a game, right, for like 20 minutes, and it was just kind of like filler stuff. And then, like Chris Pine was just chilling on his phone, like he was over it. He really didn't have much to do with it. I don't know. It was interesting. The trailer was it was a trailer, that's for sure.
Yeah, got a first look at Cheetah.
Yeah. First look at Cheetah. Looks better than Cats.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better, but it.
I mean,
She does look better
it.
than the Cats movie.
I think it's a thing. It's like I'm glad it wasn't just her wearing like a leopard print skirt. That's some lazy shit. That she actually has like a full transformation by the end of the movie. I am disappointed that it's shot in the dark so they can hide how the CG looks.
Right.
At least for what we saw, maybe there's some more scenes of her in the daylight, because a lot of the movie does appear very bright and colorful, which I appreciate. But like, I like Cheetah's design. I feel like it's a very simple design. Pretty hard to fuck up. I just hope that the effects can carry it. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know, Aaron. What do you think about the trailer we got?
It was cool. I saw the other trailers. Well, there was one other trailer, right? Or was there two? I don't remember. But
I think there's a teaser in the trailer.
Okay, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna watch it. The trailer didn't do anything to fluctuate my excitement. It didn't go down. It didn't go up. I was like, oh, cool. Cheetah. I know she's in the movie. The CG didn't look amazing. I was like, it's kind of cool. Kind of reminded me of what's it called? Fucking Black Panther with that end train fight.
Oh, okay.
Looks so like the CG level, kind of like that.
Right.
But it's a movie. I don't know how Steve Trevor's back, but yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be good. And that's basically the gist of my thoughts on that shit.
Nick, what did you think about the trailer? I know DC doesn't wet your towel.
I mean,
like it does for some people.
I never saw the first Wonder Woman, so I have like not really any interest in seeing this movie. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just like I just don't really care to like watch her movies, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought the panel overall was. Oh no, it was cool. I like the interaction that they answered a lot of questions. Everyone seems to get along pretty well. I will say I was genuinely surprised by the footage. I'm curious where they're gonna take things with damn it, what is the name of the villain? The Donald Trump looking guy.
Oh, Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, Maxwell Lord, and kind of what they're setting up with the kind of mix of like the mystical and the implication kind of seems to be that like he has access to some sort of magic that allows people's dreams to come true, but it starts going south really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if Cheetah is gonna be like. I was getting vibes that she was like a nobody that got powers, and she's like kind of mad or jealous of Wonder Woman,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me think of Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Electro.
That sounds like a good
That's what I was
thought.
getting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best comparison. You mean like Incredibles, maybe?
Sure, let's go with that.
Or Iron Man 3. It's the same. It's the same plot.
It was giving me real TASM.
We've seen this before.
TASM
We've
2
been here
vibes.
before.
Also,
Yeah.
That
Batman
was just the first one that came
Forever,
to my mind.
Riddler in Batman Forever was like that too, no?
Exactly. Yeah. That one's a comparable.
So you got that
Comparable movie.
quirky character that like is obsessed with the hero, and then they get powers, but then they realize that like the hero doesn't care about them. So then they're like, I want to kill you now.
Which, to my understanding, it seems like Diana and Cheetah's character. I can't remember her name.
Barbara.
Huh?
Her real name's Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara. I think the idea I got is that like Diana and Barbara are friends, but kind of like y'all were saying, Barbara like tries to go too far because she wants to be seen as like as special and cool as Diana is, even though Diana's been around for like ever. She had time to build that shit up. But I mean, I'm still very interested in it. I'm excited to see a movie with colors from DC. That always makes me very happy.
They all have colors though. What are you talking about?
No, I mean like vibrant colors, not muted.
Yeah,
ones.
they all have vibrant colors.
Not so much.
Especially
BVS.
Man of Steel.
Not Suicide Squad, but BVS did. BVS had that ultra saturated Watchmen 300 colors.
Yeah. It looked like a grayscale or like the inside of a train.
Grayscale. Hang on a second here. Wait a second. Wait. I'm gonna prove your grayscale wrong in a second. Keep going though.
But yeah, I mean we can move on to the next one too while Nick proves me wrong. Yeah, Wonder
What's
Woman
next
84
on the
looks
list?
solid. We got you want to do Black Adam or do you want to do the Flash?
Let's go Black Adam because I don't know too much about that one. I didn't really look at the teaser or anything.
Yeah, so we got Dwayne the Rock Johnson giving us with the tightest shirt in the universe, showing us a lot of, I guess it essentially looked like a motion comic for the upcoming African Adam film featuring the Justice Society.
I heard about that, which I'm really curious. I'm like, when is this movie supposed to take place? Is it a mad prequel? Is it place in present day?
It looks like it's like 2 time periods because he talks about being a slave in Kahndaq before he gets his powers, and then going like 5,000 years into the future and having to and like trying to decide whether or not he wants to work with the JSA, and it was interesting kind of what he was saying about the character because he's like, you know, he was saying that the movie's going to be different from any type of like superhero or villain or anti-hero, and I'm like, okay, you got to pick one because he's not all three. Like, I'll take an anti-hero movie, but I kind of wouldn't mind
like
to see a
Venom.
movie. Okay, a good movie about a villain.
Venom.
But
Yeah.
Black Adam has been part of the JSA though in the comics before.
Yeah, and I think they're alluding to that, and we have at least 4 of the members confirmed. I'm trying to remember their names. So we had Hawkman, we had Dr. Fate, I think, are the leaders, and then we also have Atom Smasher, and then does anyone remember the 4th person's name? Because it was the one woman. Because it looks like we're not getting the Hot Girl. Yes, Cyclone. Thank you. But
they cut Hot Girl out. Remember?
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. Maybe they'll add her back in. I mean, the movie's not coming out for a long while.
He says he couldn't talk about it, right? So maybe they got something planned for Hot Girl.
That'd be cool. Maybe they're saving her for a Green Lantern John Stewart story.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's you can't have more than one lady in a superhero team.
only
Maybelline.
one girl. Only one girl on the team, but
I mean, who knows?
Luke, what are your thoughts about African Adam, the Mighty, the Strong?
Which one?
DC Luke, and then I'll ask Marvel Luke.
Before I do, please don't play that clip.
I agree.
That was Black Adam screaming.
I know he's got his finger hovering over it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay.
At least out of respect for our boy DC Luke.
We'll do it on Marvel Luke instead.
I don't care. It's fine. All right. Weirdly, there's not really a whole lot to say. I liked seeing the JSA more than seeing Black Adam, honestly.
Seeing Dr. Fate was cool.
Yeah, those are really good members.
Mm-hmm.
And those are largely the members that I think were during the World War III event that was happening in DC a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember when that happened. That was like mid-2000. Nick, wasn't that like 2005 or something?
I think so, probably.
It was like somewhere in the mid-2000s, but it was a really cool story arc, and pretty much JSA going against Black Adam was one of the highlights of that. So this is cool. It's a nice story for sure. So again, there's really not a whole lot to glean from it outside of things that we already know. But that being said, seeing concept art of the JSA is cool for sure. Especially Adam Smasher, who...
Go ahead.
I'm curious how they're going to do it because I got to be honest, Giant Man in the MCU, a little disappointing.
He's going to be bigger than him. That's how they're going to do it.
That's how they'll do it.
That's kind of one thing is I'm curious because Noah Centinio's playing Adam Smasher, and I'm not the biggest fan of his acting, but he somehow bagged both this and He-Man. So I guess
you let
the
your
studio
muscles
saw
do the acting.
something with him.
Hollywood said, "Fuck what you think, Will. We're gonna make this kid a star."
Right. They sure did. Hollywood does not care about my opinion, very much so. But because he popped up during the panel to kind of talking about he was already working out from home to try and get big to play Adam Smasher.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Right, and so I am hoping they stick with the costumes from the concept art, because say what you will about Boss Logic, it's still solid art. Like it looks.
My
very
question
much
is who's gonna be the big bad guy?
I don't think exactly.
Black Adam.
It may be the JSA. It may be a thing where it's like he's partnered with them, but then after a while he's like, nah, I don't want to hang with these fucking nerds, and they're, I guess, the antagonist of the movie.
Right.
There's a couple places to go. There were, I think, plot leaks that came out about Black Adam recently. They did mention Hot Girl though, so they might be bumpkiss, but
or just old. Might be old.
Or
scripts.
just old, yeah. Because again, he did say that she was 100% part of the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Altered the plan. Pray I don't alter it.
Again, if they played it smart, there is no real big bad. It's just Black Adam is his own guy, and the JSA are saying, hey, you can't do that, and he says, fuck you. And then that's the movie.
Or do you think they're going to play the role... I'm sorry, continue. What were you going to say?
Oh, no. No, that's it. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, do you think the JSA is going to play a similar role in the movie as Colossus and what's her name was? Colossus and Negasonic in Deadpool. Where the presence of heroes are there. Not necessarily the same effect, but the presence of heroes are there, but no, I'm not trying to be with you guys, screw you.
Sort of, again, I think the main thing is that are they going to make Black Adam like a straight-up anti-hero like he kind of is? Or are they going to pull it back a little bit and be like, no, but there's actually a real bad guy that they have to team up for?
I think it's going to be that, because isn't Deadpool more of an anti-hero anyway? But they just do something worse so he doesn't look as bad?
I think the term anti-hero is a little vague now in terms of how.
True.
Venom is an anti-hero.
Apparently now.
Kind of. Yeah.
At least in the
of.
modern context.
No, he's in a team. Black Adam teams up with them though in that artwork, right?
And he talks about it. He said he's essentially saying that it's like as long as they're on his side, like not on his side, as long as they don't get in his way, he doesn't really care what they do. He's not like if he's fighting with them instead of against them, it's like more of happenstance for his goal of conquest and defeating evil.
Truth, justice, and the Black Adam way.
Yes. Which I think he says that too.
Yeah.
He does. That's why it's
so. Shout outs to our man African American Adam doing.
Wait, what do you guys think about his voice as Black Adam though? Like his narration.
I like it.
Oh, I need to hear that. I didn't know he did. So that's the official Black Adam voice. He's gonna do.
Yeah, that's his voice.
I mean, Dwayne Johnson.
You gotta hear it, dude.
All right.
It is interesting to see Dwayne Johnson as just like this big ass slave, which I'm like, huh. I feel like there's something here we should talk about, but I don't feel ready to talk about it. I'm not comfortable.
Is there gonna be slavery in this movie, or?
I mean, given the concept art shows him in chains, I'm thinking so.
How did they get him in those chains? No one else is as big as him in those times.
Maybe they were magic chains.
Shit, they must have been. They had to have been.
Because there's a brief glimpse, I think, of him fighting the wizard.
Oh, interesting. So Dominic and Hansu's coming back for this.
Yeah, I'm
I think
hoping
that's assumed.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like that's an
he
assumption.
should.
Yeah.
But because I mean, Black Adam still very much
speaking of
connected
the wizard, you got a title for Shazam 2, and also that Sinbad is going to be in it.
What was the
really?
title?
Oh, I didn't hear it. No, I didn't know none of this news come out. Why didn't no one talk about this? The Shazam stuff.
The Aquaman and the Shazam panels were like very filler. Like there was like one little sentence about like some news. That was it.
There wasn't really anything said at the Aquaman one because it was just James Wan talking with the guy that played Orm. Really.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'll be back in like 1 sec. Keep going.
Anyways, what's the title for Shazam 2? The Shazam?
The Fury of the Gods.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. That doesn't sound like the
it's
Seven
sad
Worlds.
Because like they're not gonna do like Mr. Mind in the Seven Realms now.
Well, they might still do Mr. Mind, but I don't know about the Seven Realms showing up. Maybe they could save that for a third one and bring in Black Adam, because I know they've been going through the realms in Jeff Johns' current run, and Adam shows up and he actually fights with Mr. Mind and damn it, the other villain. What's his name?
Dude, Mr. Mind was good on that Justice League Action cartoon.
He showed up in Justice League Action?
Yeah, with Space Cabbie.
Oh, nice. I guess we can maybe talk about what we think is going to come for Fury of the Gods. I mean, probably something that it implies. I'm imagining it has to do with the other letters of the whole Shazam thing. My biggest question is, are they finally going to give him his name? Because I think they should just call him Captain Thunder, which is one of his
No, Captain Marvel.
Nah, it's too late.
The Big Red Cheese.
It's too late.
They missed
the Big Red Cheese. I would like that. Yes.
That'd be a cool nickname for him, especially because it's in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Big Cheesy.
Yeah,
dude, that's the name of a Philly cheesesteak named after him. The Big Red Cheese.
The Big Red Cheese, the official Captain Man. Yeah,
I really hope they do that now. That's actually a cute way to get that in.
Yeah. But yeah, my question would be, what the hell are they going to call him? Because even now, Megan Good was on one of the panels, and it just says Superhero Darla. I'm like, we need to give them some fucking names, all right? Like, I get it, they can't say their names, but they got to call themselves something. It's like, who are you? I'm Mr. Magic Man. It's like, no, motherfucker, you need a name.
What are their names in the comics? Does the Shazam family not have names?
Not right now, no. they can't call them Captain Marvel and like the family, so it's like since they mostly interact with one another and not really mainstream villains, they really do call each other like Darla and whatnot, like by their names.
You know,
Oh, okay.
I was just thinking, what if Fury of the Gods is he's dealing with the Egyptian gods from Black Adam's name?
Ooh. Because they're coming out like a year apart from each other, aren't they? Not too long. Because
So
like
you might
2021
want
and 22.
because like if you don't have him dealing with Black Adam right away, you can at least kind of build up to him.
What if he fights Kratos?
I mean, that'd be cool too.
No, I'm just playing.
I think going off what Luke was saying, because I'm thinking that they're gonna have Black Adam be the villain for Shazam 3, and that's kind of what I think. That's a good thing to build up to, rather than blow your load in the first move and be we're doing him versus evil him, because Black Adam clearly will have like thousands of years of experience on Billy Batson.
Right.
And I think that's how you could introduce the Seven Realms. Like Black Adam comes back so he wants to be like the master of the realms once more with all the powers of Shazam and the other lords.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't understand, just from the early basis of all of this, is why is Black Adam having his own movie in the first place?
I have absolutely no idea.
Why is he not treated as an antagonist?
I'm going to assume Dwayne Johnson made this a stipulation.
Probably.
If you want me to play Black Adam, I have to get my own movie.
Sadly, I imagine that's probably what happened.
He looks like him.
Because if I remember...
He looks like him, I'll say that.
Yeah, because if I remember, initially it was up in the air whether he was Shazam or Black Adam.
Yeah.
That is true. I'm happy they made him Black Adam.
Could you imagine him as Shazam?
That you
I
want a
can,
little
actually.
You want a little Polynesian kid as Billy Batson though? Are you ready for that?
Can we handle that? Is the world ready for such a thing?
Are you? Yeah, I mean they had one in Aquaman playing young Jason Momoa, but you know, are you ready for? What if it was the same kid? Playing both Kid Aquaman and Kid Billy Batson. Aquaman meets Billy Batson. He's like, you look just like me when I was a kid. Was The Rock.
Hollywood
There's
just that small?
timeline where all those things happen. Yeah, you just move through mitosis. But I don't know. Any more thoughts on that? So we can actually get into. I guess we can get to the Flash and then the actual interesting panels and whatnot.
Right.
So
No more thoughts on me. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks mad nifty. So we can get into this Flash news, which I that was a panel I missed, but we did get the news like 2 days before FanDome, because fucking Vanity Fair is like you couldn't wait. Ben Affleck will be returning to DC to re-portray Bruce Wayne in The Flash. That makes me very happy. He looks like he's doing good, man. I'm happy for Ben. I always like to see Ben doing okay in life. He's been going through a lot.
He got Arma, or what's her name from Knives Out?
Say what?
Arma's Day, Andrea. What's homegirl from Knives Out? What's her name?
Andrea Romano? Oh, no,
No,
that's
Anna.
sorry.
Anna Armas Day or something like that. Basically, he's dating the girl from Knives Out. Like they've been going steady,
Yeah.
and he seems like he's in a better place now.
Yeah, no more divorce, no more alcoholism.
Yeah, and granted, I feel like you have to remember, as busy of a dude as he is in Hollywood, and yeah, he may have had a shitty experience on Justice League in 2016. You have to remember, a lot can happen within a few years, and yeah, that was in 2016, 2017, but I feel like you get away from something for a few years, you'd probably be willing to go back to it, especially if they offer you a shitload of money.
Right, and I it makes me sad that we're not gonna get to see Ben Affleck's Batman with his own solo project. I kind of hope they let him have one movie just to resolve that thing with him and Deathstroke that they set up, like, I don't know if he wants to do it, but I'm just like, I know it's gonna be weird having Batman and Batfleck running around, and also we have Michael Keaton coming back for the Flash movie too. I'm
Which
like,
I have some thoughts on that.
yeah, and we can talk about that too since we're talking about the whole Flash thing. But I want a nice theatrical send off for Ben Affleck that's just him. That's away from all the into the Batverse stuff going on in the Flash. I think what I was thinking would be cool for the movie is if we did somehow have Batfleck and Michael Keaton man, and also Jeffrey Dean Morgan man, just meeting, just to see how that scene would go between
Gary
like
Oldman.
an older what?
We get Gary Oldman, J.K. Simmons, and Jeffrey and what's his name?
Jeffrey Wright.
Who's playing Jeffrey Wright?
All the Gordons coming together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be cool to have like that moment for Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Batman, to meet Batfleck as his son, and also maybe give a little bit of like peace to Keaton Man's, a send off to all those characters. So it's done. But we got some interesting, pictures. It looks like the Flash has an actual costume that isn't hot booty butter garbage.
It looks great.
Yeah, it actually looks good. And as more stuff has come out with like characters from the DCEU, it made me realize that Snyder crippled the absolute fuck out of every single one of these actors. That made me for a long time really not like them as their characters. And then realize, oh no, they can all portray these characters. Even if I don't like Ezra Miller that much as the Flash, I honestly now am willing to kind of give him a chance. I mean, what do y'all think about the little flashy images we got and what's going on with it going forward?
Well, one, I'll say the suit looks really cool. It's really sleek, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like in practicality and not concept art. But one of the ones that really tickled my interest was the one with Michael Keaton's Batman and Flash.
And I thought that was really cool because he was Batman in the '89 costume, which makes me think,
right?
Okay, I don't think they're gonna try to say that. Or maybe have two thoughts. I'm like, okay, are they gonna go to that universe all these years in real time and see what he's up to now, or are they gonna take like the Marvel approach and do the de-aging thing and see him in that Batman '89 prime? Because I'm like, I can't imagine Michael Keaton, old Batman, still putting on that '89 suit. But I don't know. I feel like I could see them doing the de-aging thing and making Batman still in his prime, and then having somebody do the stunts in the bat suit.
That's not a bad idea. Which it does look like a certainly younger Batman. I would think if it was like Michael Keaton, how he is now, he'd have a little bit more of a teched up bat suit. So maybe it's Batman in like the 90s or early 2000s, where he's a little older, but he can still get down and fight and get a little gritty.
Get Down was a great show.
I missed that show. I mean, Nick, what are your thoughts about the little flashy Flash?
Dude, why is every element besides the Flash himself looking cool in this movie?
Because it's Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
I don't know. That scene was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't like Ezra Miller though. Like he choked some woman, and they never even addressed that.
Yeah,
totally didn't.
No, that was. It literally happened like 4 months ago, and just no one's talked about it. And I'm surprised he still has his role, because it's looking like they're probably going to cut Mara out of Aquaman 2.
Oh, are they? Did they confirm that?
They didn't confirm it. That's what I'm thinking. If they don't, I'll be surprised.
Or they recast her. Use Flashpoint as an excuse to recast her.
I mean, shit. That's kind of the shitty thing about Flashpoint is you can only really do a Flashpoint once. After that, because the TV show's already done Crisis, so all you can really do is either.
And they've done Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Wait,
They've
they
done their
have?
own Flashpoint and their own Crisis.
They did Flashpoint like season 3.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
It was only in the first episode. It was
Very
kind of bad.
unmemorable.
It was really fucking early in the Flash, and like, well, we're gonna do Flashpoint. I'm like, why would you do that? Why'd you do that?
It does
It's
seem
very
kinda funny.
forgettable.
It does seem funny that they did Flash that early, and we're like, why did they do that early? And yet, this is going to be Flash's first solo movie, and they're already doing Flashpoint.
Right, and I think the only other thing, if you really need to do a rewrite and consolidate sources, is a Crisis. But Crisis is like, that's a really big event, like a really big event.
But they already did a Crisis, which I'm like, how does
with all the TV shows?
Yeah, and it makes me question: is the TV Flash going to show up in this movie?
I kind of hope so, to explain that meeting that they had. I kind of want the movie to partially, like, this is...
Yeah, there's a rumor that scene took place during this upcoming Flashpoint movie.
Right.
That's what I think could happen. Yeah.
I'm hoping that's what happens, is some Speed Force shenanigans. Given the fact that we're getting 2 Batmans, maybe 3.
Because they said that Ezra Miller is going to start calling himself the Flash in the DCEU after he met the Grant Gustin Flash.
Wow, that's
Cool.
stupid.
Oh, totally different reaction.
We had really different reactions to that.
I kind of like that. I don't know.
He's like, I call myself the Speed. I'm the fastest man alive. I'm the Quickster.
Didn't he call himself the Blur? Or some shit like that?
Yeah, the Blur.
The blue blur?
The Blurster.
Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Luke, did you have any thoughts? Are you still with us? Did you fall into the void?
Do we still have so much to cover? What the heck?
Oh, God. Yeah, we got like 3 more topics.
We gotta lightning round.
This is the real meat of the show. Alright, we don't really have much more on the Flash. Let's talk about Suicide Squad. So, the Suicide Squad, we got a reveal of the cast list for, say, about 90% of the cast. Some of them are still hidden. As well as a little bit of a sizzle reel, some behind-the-scenes footage. So, first off, I like the panel for this. They all have a lot of really good chemistry. Like, they seem to get along really well, and James Gunn seems really, really gung-ho. Like, I don't know if you guys sat through the whole thing, but he said this is the most fun he's ever had on a project, which made me... Disney is punching air right now that they almost lost over some silly stuff. But they got him back.
Right.
But,
and it's awesome because this is going to be totally his vision, because you got to remember at the time that he got Suicide Squad, this was his post-firing from Marvel and Disney, and every studio was on his back asking him to make a project for them. And then he finally went to Warner Brothers, and they're like, just, you can have anything you want. You can have Superman. He's like, no, I want Suicide Squad. They're like, all right, deal. Do whatever you want with Suicide Squad. Done. You can have it. Yeah, and it's really cool that he's really utilizing the expanded, weirder side of the DC universe, and it's kind of full circle in a way, because the original Suicide Squad movie only had the room to be made in the first place because of what James did with Guardians, and now he is doing the thing. He's doing what DC tried to do with their inspiration from his original work, and he's picking it up himself. Which I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and listening to him talk, like he has a lot of knowledge and care and passion for all of these characters, because he said he pulled a lot from the OG Suicide Squad run for his inspiration. Right. And
yeah, but Ayer said that too, so I don't really.
I mean, I trust Gunn more than Ayer, because Gunn at least has the costumes looking so good, and a lot of practical stuff. Like, you can see a lot of practical makeup going on with a lot of the actors and actresses. This cast is dumb big. Who we got? All right, so we got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, and Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. They're all from the original, but we got some new people. We got Idris Elba as Bloodsport, Sean Gunn as Weasel, Pete Davidson as Blackguard. Daniela Melchior as Ratcatcher 2, specifically. Nathan Fillion as TDK. Steve Agee is the body and person for King Shark, but not the voice. We don't know who that is. John Economos, Mei Ling Ing. Steve Agee is King Shark and John Economos. Mei Ling Ing as Mongal. David Desmalkian as Polka Dot Man. Alice Braga as Sol Soria. John Cena as Peacemaker. Juan Diego Boto as President General Silvio Luna. Peter Capaldi as the Thinker. Michael Rooker as Savant. Flula Borg as Javelin. Joaquin Cosio as Mayor General Mateo Suarez. Jennifer Holland as Amelia Harcourt. And Storm Reed as Tyla, who is Bloodsport's daughter. Holy fuck. And that's not even the full cast, because I know Tinashe's in this movie, too.
Right. Yeah, Bloodsport totally isn't the Deadshot replacement.
I mean,
totally
down
two black
to
dudes
having
with
a
guns
daughter.
who both have daughters.
Yeah. Which, I really like Bloodsport's design. It kind of makes me think of a cool version of what we should have got a little bit more of with Taskmaster. A little bit in terms of the mask.
Bro, it looks like a xenomorph. Looks like a man.
There's going to be an explanation as to why Deadshot's not there anymore.
I mean,
he died, bro.
Well, no, he got out at the end of the first one, didn't he? Oh, no, he had visitation.
No, he's back. Yeah, he had visitation.
So
maybe he escaped.
What about Killer Croc?
What about Killer? He's busy watching BET.
He's watching BET.
himself.
He's chilling.
See?
He opted out.
Yeah, we know what he's doing. I am happy that.
Wait, what about Slipknot?
He's watching that reruns of Girlfriends.
Slipknot died. Remember, he got his head blown off.
No,
yeah, he's the first one.
He just appears.
I feel like if they would have saved Slipknot and not used him, I feel like James Gunn would have used him properly.
Yeah, he would have.
How do you
use
him
a bunch of other
properly,
people
though?
he's gonna use.
Wasn't he like a?
I don't know. How do you
like a
use
molester?
Ratcatcher 2 properly? I mean,
Which I love the fact that it's so specifically because he called her out on it. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Ratcatcher." He's like, "Ratcatcher 2," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, James, let her know." It's like, "Nah, bitch,
Right.
Ratcatcher 2, the sequel. You are not the original Ratcatcher." He probably has something to do with the plot of the story.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna play into it at some point, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, man, I'm really excited for this movie because I definitely feel like he understands something that David Ayers didn't about the Suicide Squad, is that they shouldn't be fighting
Like
mystical.
how to have fun.
How to have fun. They shouldn't be fighting mystical enchantress. They should be doing something like they're Task Force X. They're a military operation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should be doing. Like somewhere, it's gonna be the Dirty Dozen. It's gonna be a war movie with supervillains. And they got the weirdest, wackiest people. I'm really excited to see what Weasel's going to be, because I had no idea that was going to be a thing in this movie. And it looks hilarious.
I didn't even know who Weasel was, but I bet you Weasel's going to live.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, well, there was that rumor about the secret villain in the movie, which I'm kind of mixed about, because like you guys were saying, I would prefer it to be more grounded. But at the same time, like, that's such a cool villain, though.
Oh, no, I want this to be comic booky as fuck. I'm starting to realize from DC, I need weirder shit. Like, I think that's partially why I'm excited to see
Where's
Cheetah,
the Lobo film?
Oh, God, I don't know. It's somewhere with, hanging out with Krypton Season 3.
We ain't never getting a Lobo movie.
Maybe
when are we gonna
someday,
get
but
James
I can't see
Gunn's
it
R-rated
anytime soon.
Lobo film?
That sounds like a really interesting take. Maybe they'll give that to him after this one, after he does Suicide Squad 2.
Wait, which characters are you most excited to see out of the new cast?
I'm excited to see Pete Davidson die in a really funny way.
Oh yeah, bro, he's totally fucking dead. You know he's dead.
Bro, he looked nothing like his character from the comics. It's so good.
Blackguard?
Yeah, Blackguard. I think the ones I'm most interested
Lula
in
Borg?
are... is
Javelin?
Javelin's dead.
Oh, for sure.
I'm saying Blackguard's dead, Javelin's dead, Savant's probably dead, especially because it's Michael Rooker. Peacemaker may die. Polka Dot Man might die. TDK's dead.
Oh, for sure. He's not even a comic character.
The theory is that he's Arm Pull-Off Boy, but they didn't want to call him that.
Yeah, his name in the movie is gonna be the Detachable Kid. That's why it's
Wait, really?
TDK.
Is that his name for real?
His arms can fall off.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The Arm Fall-Off Boy. Which
that's why his logo was those two detached arms. That makes sense now.
Yeah, and his helmet matches the one from the comics. But I think the ones I'm most excited for are like Bloodsport, Ratcatcher 2, King Shark, and Peacemaker. I'll say. Actually, I'm also very curious what they're gonna do with Polka Dot Man and his powers.
Because apparently he was never part of the Suicide Squad in the comics.
I don't think so either, but I think that James Gunn definitely did his research in roping in just weird characters too, which makes me happy. It does. I'm trying to remember which one it was. One of them had, I think it was Bloodsport, had his own spin-off, which surprised me. But I guess he's one of the few people to shoot Superman. So.
No, Peacemaker had a solo book.
I didn't know that.
Sorry, Peacemaker. Nick is correct. That I was surprised it wasn't Bloodsport, because Bloodsport seems like the more interesting character, but Peacemaker is just peace by any options, including murder. But I don't know, that it looks good. I am so excited to see like more comic leaning costumes.
They
like
got the
Rick
best
Flag.
Harley suit.
Yes. Oh my god. I'm in love with James for giving us a really good Harley costume. The best Harley costume since that.
Better than that Birds of Prey, that ruffle feather shit, whatever that.
Everything before was bad. It was made by men and women. They both sucked. The only times I've seen them done right were her classic costume for all of 5 seconds in the original Suicide Squad, and now this.
Right.
That
Harley
was all I
finally
asked
looks like
for.
Harley. Black and red. That's all we ever asked for.
She finally, like, it is my perfect Harley. And she looks straight out of Injustice 2, actually.
Right.
He's your waifu.
Unfortunately, it's my problematic fave. I mean, what do y'all think about, like, the cast and the panel and everything that we got for the Suicide Squad? It made me personally really excited. I'm surprised he put Rick Flag in a bright yellow shirt. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so James is totally with the comics. He said, fuck it, we're going bright and colorful.
Yeah, you got the comic accurate Rick Flag.
Hell yeah. He looks great. He looks happy. Everyone looks like they're having a good time.
I'm like,
my
holy
favorite
shit,
person,
dude, Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, you know what I was actually surprisingly hyped to see was that Peter Capaldi is the Thinker. He looks so cool.
I didn't expect that at all. I'm like, huh.
He looks so
cool.
casual. Yeah, he looks so casual with his he's not a suit, but he has like some kind of like Hawaiian shirt and a jacket and like the prongs coming out of his head. Yeah, I'm like, why couldn't we get this? Why couldn't we get this one in Flash season 3? That would have been so much cooler.
I don't know, man. I'm excited for this movie. I'm hoping the rumor about the secret villain is true, just because we didn't get that for the first Justice League movie, which would have been awesome if we did. But if we get it for a Suicide Squad movie, which is like garbage truck, dumpster fire, leftover B-rank villains fighting like this A-tier supervillain, that'd be who's like a stealth villain, kind of controlling behind the scenes. I think that'd be pretty great.
I don't know who the secret villain is, but have they fought this guy before?
So, okay, we can say it because I have no idea if it's gonna. Well, did he put it in the chat?
That picture I just sent in the chat was that was the Guardians cast reaction when James Gunn said this is the best movie I ever worked on.
Okay, I got beef with people having a problem with him saying that. Okay, my whole thing is that an artist or creator should always want their latest thing to be better than their last thing. For him to say that, that's no shade towards the other movies. It just means he feels like he's improving as a filmmaker. So I'm sure when Guardians 3 comes out, he's going to say the same thing. And you can't just be like, yo, I like this movie, but like, yo, Guardians was better. You're like, come on, no one's going to say that.
I don't have a problem with him saying it because It seems like, in terms of creativity, he had the most freedom with this.
With Guardians
Right.
2.
Yeah, I feel like Guardians 2 was initially it. I think he somehow had more freedom with this. Like, if Guardians 2 was like 80%, I feel like this was like 85 to 90. I think the only thing, because he said he wanted to put Batmite in the film, but he couldn't. I think that's like part
I
of
don't
the
think he said he
10%
couldn't. He said he really wanted to. He never said he couldn't.
All right, that's fair. I mean, they probably wouldn't let him. They're like, James,
Where's
we can...
Kite Man or Condiment King?
Probably in the secret ending, in a mid-credit scene, to set up the new squad. They're gonna bring in Kite Man, Condiment King.
Yeah, or Calendar Man.
Oh God, yeah, Calendar Man. So, is everybody here thinking that Taika
DC
Waititi
is
gonna be the
back?
voice? Well, that Taika's voicing King Shark.
Oh.
Oh, 1,000%. Oh yeah,
'Cause that's
Taika has to be
what
voicing
everybody's
King Shark.
thinking. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I mean, y'all have any other thoughts before we go on to the second to last topic?
I can't wait for this to come out. It's probably my second most anticipated movie for next year.
Yeah, I am now officially on the hype train. So now, as we get off the hype train, let's talk about the Snyder Cut. Fuck.
Oh, that's
God.
right.
Yeah, I made the mistake of going to Midnight's Edge channel, not because I dislike them or anything, but they had on a really big pro Snyder Cut fan guy who had a rap at the end about like the Snyder fans winning. Did you guys actually see the Snyder Cut panel?
Yeah.
I did not watch that. No.
It was something. So Nick, you saw him interviewing, like talking to Snyder fans, right? Like the Snyder Cut supporters.
Weird.
Like it felt weird. And the thing that gets me is every time, like, there still is no Snyder Cut. There is now coming a Snyder edit of the film. There was never a Snyder Cut that was complete and put out there to the world. So they're still wrong, but they do get a fully Snyder vision of their film. The panel...
Like, does this movie need reshoot?
No.
Okay.
That was and that's what made me realize something weird as we'll get into the trailer. This, like, I know movies have a fair amount of B-roll and stuff they, like, cut out for time, or things that are left on the editing room floor.
Yeah.
But how much fucking B-roll did he shoot that he could
4
make,
hours.
like a whole third of his movie?
That's Return of the King's, like...
Yeah, and so we got confirmation it's going to be 4 1-hour episodes.
I hope there's a Blu-ray release of this so I can get like a commentary track or behind the scenes making of or something.
I would be shocked if there was not a Blu-ray release.
They've got to be planning one. They have to. If not, having it be an option on Max.
I can already see DC Twitter. I can already see them going and burning the theatrical version of the Blu-ray.
The Justice
making
League.
videos of it. Yeah, making TikTok
Wait,
videos.
Aaron, what did you think of the Snyder Cut?
The trailer?
Yeah.
The trailer, the whole movement.
I thought it was all right. You know, I was like, okay, the movement is a bit extreme. You know, they're wild. They got. I don't know if they got the numbers, but they sure got the volume. But I thought the trailer itself was cool. You know, it was decent. I was like, some of the stuff we've seen before, you know, from behind the scenes or previous trailers from the original vision of Snyder. Honestly, because it's a movie I've seen already, and it's just new footage from a film I've already seen. It didn't get me too excited, but it got me intrigued. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But I don't think I'm actually going to get invested or intrigued until I actually see the movie. As of right now, it's trailer. It's deleted scenes from a movie I've already seen 3 years ago. So until I see the actual thing, I'm just like cautiously looking forward to it, but not really excited.
Dude, I'm so glad that that I saved myself and I never saw the theatrical cut.
Oh yeah, be happy for that.
So this will be my first time watching it as intended, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, the trailer definitely made me. It made me. I saw this. It made me curious, and although I'm not particularly a fan of Zack Snyder nor his interpretation of DC characters, I will say I am glad that it's a lot more visually and tonally consistent with his other works, rather than the kind of Frankenfilm that we got of the theatrical release of Justice League, where you could clearly tell
100%.
the reshoots from like Zack's footage. So and there were things in the trailer that did have me interested. I'm like, okay, I'm curious to see how he fits Darkseid in. The weird stuff going on with the Flash, the more united team dynamic, the kind like the extra
Cyborg.
hour, yeah, Cyborg playing a much larger role because he's saying that the Cyborg is the heart of the film. We see, how Cyborg's dad dies and him digging up a grave and running on the field.
I wish they didn't show that in the trailer. I really wish. Like, why would they do that? Why would they show
there
you
were
that?
There were some things in there, I guess, to get the Snyder fans hype, but for the people that just saw the theatrical, it's like, oh, that's spoilers.
Yeah.
For the people that just saw the theatrical version, you mean? But did he die in the theatrical version? No, right?
His dad? I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
No,
It didn't show him die if he did.
No, he didn't. He was at the very end with Cyborg.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, he was?
He did not.
Yes. I forgot that because it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, there was that scene in the lab where, Cyborg was like talking to his dad, and he was they were figuring out how to change his suit up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. And they put the C in there. They put the C in the suit.
The logo. Yeah. See
how
forgettable that movie is.
Right.
Yeah. I do gotta bounce soon, guys. So.
Okay.
I think the big thing for me is like, it's like obviously I didn't like initially I liked BVS, but then I didn't like it like a lot, and like that kind of changed my whole tone about the DC movies. But I think out of just curiosity, I want to see the Snyder Cut just the same way that I would want to see another Alien movie, even though I hated the other two prequels or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just because it's like there's just that curiosity of like what would it have been or whatever.
Yeah. I'm definitely of the mindset that like it can't be worse than the theatrical one, right? That's what I have my fingers crossed. Like, not a big Snyder fan. Justice League was I kind of had a similar thing with Justice League. I'm like, I walked out of it like, man, that was okay, and over time I'm like, nah, that movie was really janky and disjointed. So I'm like, at worst, it's on par with the original release.
Right.
Which,
all I want is more characterization, more heart, and maybe some cooler action scenes. But mainly character stuff. That's all I ask for.
Right. Yeah, I can agree with that. We want to move on to Batman so Luke can get his thoughts out before he has to dip out.
Yeah, Batman.
Hell yes.
All right, Luke, you want to give us those Batman thoughts? Because I have some feelings.
I'm pretty sure everyone has strong feelings about this, but I'm gonna for once keep it real short on my part. So I am in the camp of most people, was in the camp anyways, that how is Robert Pattinson gonna pull this off? But I think that Robert Pattinson is a very talented actor. If any of you guys ever go watch some of his smaller indie roles, he's terrific in them. I mean, I think the one film that'll probably convince you of his acting is The Lighthouse.
Not for me.
That's great in that. He was fantastic in that movie. I don't care what you say about that movie.
Absolutely.
His role, his performance in it was amazing.
The performance and the dynamic though between him and William Dafoe are just like they make the movie worth watching.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna finish my thoughts real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, not only I think that was a kick-ass trailer, but Robert Pattinson really pulled it off. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, beautiful, perfect. The The Batsuit looks cool. The Batmobile looks cool. I like how I think that they're kind of basing this off of year 2, and this is a much younger Batman. Like, what is he supposed to be? 24, 25? Something like
I'd
that.
imagine like
Probably,
mid to late 20s, probably.
Yeah, mid to late 20s. He's in his second year of being Batman. He has himself established. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I think that they're going to do with this movie. Since he's young and he's still establishing himself as the Batman, he's going to be more angry and a lot more unhinged.
Yeah.
Hence why we got that scene where he beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was awesome.
So detective work. So I got some vibes from this trailer. I got a little bit of Christopher Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Believably, I got a little bit of Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm.
And two more things.
Burton.
Two more vibes I'm getting.
Schumacher.
Yes. Yeah. So two more vibes I'm actually getting. I'm getting The Crow.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely The Crow. Definitely inspired by The Crow, which is really, really cool. It's got that type of grit to it that I really like, and the Zodiac.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying 7.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, so like 7, Zodiac, a little bit of Christopher Nolan,
David
a little bit of
Fincher
Tim Burton.
thriller
Crazy, man.
mysteries.
But yeah, The Crow, dude. I mean, that
Dude, that
just,
crow,
it really seems like
his
it's gonna be The
eyes
Crow.
look like the crow.
Yeah.
And Colin Farrell as Penguin, he just looks so cool.
I didn't even know it
Yeah.
was Colin Farrell till someone pointed
I
it out.
didn't even
to me.
realize, dude.
That makeup job is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Now, let me get this right. Andy Serkis is playing.
He's Alfred.
He's Alfred. Wouldn't you guys? To me, he seems more like a penguin.
I can see either or.
He seems more like a penguin, but honestly, I
Both-
think it's really good casting to make him Alfred. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
gonna lie.
both of those would work fine for me. I wouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely not. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts. I'm getting really good vibes out of this film. I think that's pretty much the consensus. But I will say that, like, I don't know, not everyone, like, I showed it to my friend the other day, and he's like, meh, and I'm like, what? I was like, what? I think it's great, and he's like, yeah, it just looks like another Batman movie to me. And I'm like, oh,
what?
okay.
ooh,
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, all right.
I can't. I guess.
I think it looks different. Like it's familiar, but
Yeah.
it's different enough to really pull me in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I'll throw my.
also his suit is a mix between like Arkham and Gotham by Gaslight, which is really cool.
That suit
Right.
looks so much better in motion than it does in the because I told you guys when they posted the Jim Lee art and we got the new logo. I'm not really a fan of the suit or the design. Like, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm like, okay, it's a bat suit. That thing looks so much better in motion. I think that's so. I'll be honest. Going into this trailer, as much as I trust Matt Reeves, I didn't want to like it. I'll be honest. I was a hater. I was a hater. That
Wow.
trailer blew that destroyed any sort of negative expectations I have.
Why didn't you do a reaction?
Because I wasn't home. I was out. When I watched it, I was at my friend's house, so we watched it together. Because I've always been saying the irony of this is that Robert Pattinson wasn't my first pick to play Batman. It was the dude that played Christian Grey. I think has a lot of solid energy and will be able to pull it off, which is funny because he did Twilight and then the spinoff of Twilight. Whatever. Robert Pattinson, I think, is probably the biggest hurdle for me for this movie. I've made it a point to try and distance him from the whole Twilight thing. I think part of it is he just kind of has a face. he kind of has a face of someone that I just wouldn't really like or really see as Batman. But I give him credit. The way that he shot, what we see of how this Batman is written and how it's looking to be performed, I'm very much open to giving him a shot. Because, like, for a day I was against Affleck, and then I came around to that, and he has shit writing, and I'm still rooting for him. So, imagine giving someone that I'm not exactly rooting for a good writer and a good director. So, like, I actually have a really positive reception to this trailer. I'm glad it's not simply an origin and that we are getting a more detective-y story, but also Matt Reeves is not holding back with that grit, because I think everyone agrees him beating up that random dude and the action, like, if we have strong action scenes where you just hold on shit like that, it makes it so much better. I was expecting them to, like, show us all these weird angles of, like, how he's beating him using, like, karate or whatever. No, he smacks this dude, socks him in the face, and beats him into the dirt for just a good 20 seconds. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a very angry, younger Batman. I like this. I like the fact that we still see him have the black coloring around his eyes from his mask, because when he's hiding his identity, rather than it just disappears when he takes his mask off. Like, I like that, you know, the suit is kind of bulletproof, but you can tell it's, like, younger. It's less, you know, there's flexibility to it because he has some experience, but it's still a little bit more armory. I really like the Bat mobile design. I like the little Bat cycle. His cave is a little smaller and more concentrated. Like, there's a lot that's really strong in this trailer. The way it's cut, seeing our boy as Jim Gordon coming in, which kind of makes me want to see a Batgirl movie down the road. Not immediately, but maybe after we get a third Matt Reeves Batman, we can get a Batgirl. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably more interested in Matt Reeves, Jeremy Wright's daughter's Batgirl than, like, the Batwoman we're getting. But I mean, there's Matt Reeves. I trust him as a director wholeheartedly. I trust him with this, man. Like, everything that I wasn't really a fan of going into it, he changed my mind. in 2 minutes, he changed my mind. I'm like, I can't doubt Matt. It looks really good.
Yeah, man. I've watched this trailer so many times.
Yeah.
It's so bomb.
I've watched reactions to it a lot.
Yeah, I watched reactions, I watched the trailer. I was laying in bed with my girlfriend when I happened to catch the tail end of the DC panel right as it was about to come on. And she just saw me nerd the fuck out over this trailer, and she's like, "Oh, you're such a nerd." I was like, "It's so dope, it's so good." But just to get my initial thoughts out there, I thought that the whole murder mystery aspect of it was really intriguing. You know, a lot of people have been saying Seven vibes, when the fact that we've seen Riddler in the 90s movie, but the fact that we've never seen a Zodiac style Riddler, like, taunting Batman as committing these murders, is like, it's really ingenious. Why have we never seen that within the frame of a film before?
I think the closest we've seen is on the Batman cartoon.
Right.
And that was a kids WB show, and that was years ago. But I think that's the closest we've gotten to, like, a insidious murder mystery Riddler.
Yeah, which I really dig. I really dig that approach.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Jeffrey Wright as Gordon is perfect. Like, yeah, I know people will complain that it's not the traditional redheaded Gordon with the glasses, but, like, if you were to race bend any character, Jeffrey Wright is perfect to play that role. I thought it was amazing. Same thing with Zoe Kravitz. I think she's a killer choice for Catwoman. She definitely brings that energy, that finesse, that sexiness to the role. And with Robert Pattinson, you know, I knew he was a great actor. I saw The Lighthouse. I've seen Good Time. He just has this versatility to him. And though there's a lot of complaints about the size of him, and, like, he hasn't worked out, seeing him in the suit, you don't really need to work out for that suit. Like, the suit does the work itself, you know?
Yeah. If it can take a bullet, he should be okay.
Exactly. Look how much padding is on that thing. He looks huge.
Yeah, that thing is bulky as hell.
The thing's super bulky, but also allows the ability to be agile at the same time. But yeah, just seeing him just kind of go through this trailer and then seeing his Bruce Wayne, I thought the fascinating thing about two things: the fact that he's a young Batman and we're seeing him in his prime, and we're seeing this Bruce Wayne that is still very angry about his parents and wanted to make a difference in the city. And I thought it was kind of funny that the first time in what would this be like the 8th Batman movie? Is that right? Is that track?
Maybe more. I don't know. You're probably right.
But in so many Batman movies, we've never seen him, like, they all have the bat paint around their eyes, but this is the first time we're actually seeing it.
Right.
And in seeing that, this is the first time where, okay, we know that there's Bruce. Okay, my problem with The Dark Knight Rises is that they kind of flip the Batman mold, where it's typically Batman is who he is and Bruce Wayne is the mask, and The Dark Knight Rises kind of flip that as Bruce Wayne is who he is and Batman is his burden. This is the first time where I've seen that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Like, you see him with that face paint off and that look that he gives, like, nah, that motherfucker is still Batman. That's Batman.
Yeah, still like that Batman eyes.
Exactly. That face paint really illustrates that. There's a lot of rage and somberness in those eyes, and I feel like Robert Pattinson really captures that. And
so Batman is the real identity.
Exactly. Batman's the real identity.
Bruce Wayne is the mask.
Bruce Wayne is the mask. Exactly. So, watching that scene of him just beat down that dude, and I love the fact that it was one shot. There wasn't a bunch of cuts. It's just one shot of you, and you clearly see if you pause it, that is Robert Pattinson doing that. The one shot of this Batman just beating this dude down, even when he's down, just punching him more and more. It gave me Netflix Daredevil vibes, but I feel like the fact that yeah, it totally gave me Netflix Daredevil vibes. But the fact that we're getting a Batman that angry, that gritty, dirty.
He has tall ears too.
Yeah, he's the tall
the ears are a lot taller, which
you don't have
makes
those
me
bat
happy.
nubs.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I like the taller ears.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not quite as tall as the '90s Batman ears, but it's taller.
It's not as tall as the Val Kilmer suit.
No, it's not as tall as the '90s ears, and it's not as tall as I think maybe it's about the same length as the Nolan ears, but they're thinner and they're spread apart, which I thought is cool. And I like the thinness of his mask as well, that you're seeing his whole face, something that we see in the comics but never really in the movies. And the suit's dope. I think it's the only suit where it looks like it has the potential to go over his shoulders. Because when he's walking up, like, it's not quite over his shoulders, but it's like kind of halfway. I'm like, finally, why did it take like 8 movies for that to happen? but yeah, man, like this is an interesting take. I'm excited to see Batman solve a mystery, dealing with his rage, confronting his identity, confronting the thing of his past. And I went back, though I didn't watch DC FanDome as it was happening, I went back and watched the panel, and just listening to Matt Reeves talk about the movie, talk about the Batman, talk about Gotham, talk about the corruption. He really cares about this character and this world that inhabits it.
That's like when I directed a Batman.
Yeah, man. And I think that listening to him talk made me excited for the Gotham PD show. Like, I'm actually going to watch that show because it's within his universe.
It's not going to be like the Gotham show on Fox TV.
No,
and
no.
That's the funny thing watching the trailer. What's up?
Wait, Lucas, I gotta go. I gotta get going.
All right.
So.
Yeah,
man, no worries.
We'll give you a sign off later.
Yeah, we'll give you a sign off, all proper.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Right.
See you guys.
But But it was interesting when I thought about the trailer more and more. I'm like, wow, this is like what Gotham should have been. This is the Batman show that everyone was asking Gotham to be, and it just wasn't. Like, when I'm watching this, I'm like, yeah, I don't mind a gritty, like, murder mystery drama and having Batman in it.
This Batman is like the all-star Batman and Robin version. The goddamn Batman.
Oh, God. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Isn't he like that, Aaron?
Wait, say that again?
The Pattinson Batman reminds me of the All-Star Batman comic.
It makes me
interesting. I need to hear more of his voice, but yeah, he was very gritty.
Earth One,
like the Arkham Batman or All-Star Batman doesn't give a fuck either. I'm like, goddamn Batman. Also, when he said I'm vengeance,
I'm like, okay, it's like, say the whole line, goddamn it, say the words.
No, dude, even him just hearing that gave me chills. It gave me goosebumps just hearing him say I'm vengeance after beating down a criminal. To like that. It's the only movie I've seen. Like, granted, Ben Affleck's Batman was a brute, and he had that just brute old man strength. but just seeing him beat down a dude viciously, and
Oh, yeah, that's that young man strength. That's that anger.
that's that young man strength right there. Yeah. And just seeing that kind of illustrated the thing about Batman that I've been saying for people that don't really know or understand Batman is like, I really hope they address the sort of hypocritical nature of Batman with him. There's no killing rule, but him beating people within an inch of their life, but not actually taking it.
Yeah, I'll beat you into a coma, but I won't shoot you. It's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's one of the things of the Batman character is that that's one of his hidden abilities is that he wants his enemies to think that he'll kill them, but he doesn't. You know, he pushes to that edge.
I mean, I think that the worst example I saw was while I was playing Arkham City, where he, like, smashed someone's face into a generator and pulled them back and was like, now tell me, you know, where they're hiding at. I'm like, bro, he's dead. Like, I saw sparks shoot into this man's spine. He's gone. He can't tell you
tell me.
Like, Batman's over here dropping bodies left and right and then expects them, is like, now tell me where they're hiding at. I'm like, bro, they're dead.
What are your thoughts on his vengeance line versus the Christian Bale where's the trigger line? From Dark Knight Rises.
One of the kind of talking about the whole voice thing, one of the things I will give Zach a compliment on is the fact that he uses the voice modulator, which is something I've complained about Batman not having in years. Because the issue with a lot of the Batman actors is, like, they either go too far and it's silly, kind of like with Bale, or they don't really do a good job disguising their voice.
Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman.
Right. And so in Pattinson's case, I think he actually does a solid job. My general thing is, I'm like, the difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman.
What about the Keaton voice?
Keaton doesn't differ. Keaton's is like an energy thing, but his voice is still kind of the same.
The Conroy Batman.
Conroy is pretty distinct. Conroy, I think, does it the best. He goes lower register, different tone. Pattinson, I think, does that too. Granted, we only hear him say a line. That's what I'm imagining.
I think the Riddler.
Yeah, that was my takeaway from hearing Pattinson's voice. He felt like he was doing. Not that he was doing Bell's voice, but he felt like he was doing what Bell's Batman was trying to accomplish without trying so hard.
Yes. So it's like lower register, serious tone. That is all I really ask if you're not going voice modulator. It's so simple to do.
What if Ben Affleck's Batman didn't use a voice modulator? What would it have sounded like?
Probably just Ben Affleck.
Yeah, because I mean, he did separate the difference between, like, Batman and Bruce Wayne, I'd say, to an extent. Not the best, but I could tell, like,
no, but the Riddler is using a voice changer in the trailer.
So
yeah, what'd you guys think of
the Hush thing?
What?
The Hush thing.
Hush.
He kind of looks like Hush if that was the Riddler that we saw, or whoever that was. Oh no, I just thought that was interesting. Do you think
this Riddler is like the most? This Riddler is like the Earth 1 Batman Earth 1 Riddler the most.
What's Batman Earth 1 Riddler like? I don't think I read Batman Earth 1 with the Riddler.
He's a serial killer too. He kills a bunch of people, drops a bunch of bodies all over Gotham, trying to get the Batman to basically reveal his identity and stuff. He's obsessed with trying to figure out who Batman is.
Yeah, I was kind of getting a few Earth 1 vibes. I think if they use the Earth 1 origin, that'd be really good for this interpretation of Batman, where Bruce is kind of a spoiled brat and his parents' death traumatizes him to the point where he has to take everything serious. I kind of like that storytelling version for it.
No, this overall, though, this Batman, which is what I kind of expected anyway, but the trailer reinforced it, is it feels the most like the Aronofsky Batman script.
Oh, really?
I think we've talked about it. I just can't remember. I don't think I sat down and read it, but I feel like we have talked about the old Darren Aronofsky script.
But no, can you kind of expand on that? I haven't read the script.
Throw some details on us, Nick.
So basically, that that version of Batman was supposed to be R-rated, so it was going to be a much darker version. And essentially, Frank Miller actually wrote the draft of that script, and it was going to be an adaptation of Year One, but taking many liberties. In interviews, Miller and Aronofsky said, "We're going to throw everything you know about Batman out the window," because in that version, Bruce Wayne, after his parents died, he lost his family's fortune and grew up on the streets. And he ended up working at a scrapyard, I believe, or a vehicle auto shop or something like that, I think. There was no Alfred. There was a guy named Big Al who owned the auto shop that ended up being his mentor. And yeah, it was going to be a very different kind of movie. Like, he ended up making a bunch of his own stuff. Obviously, he didn't have money, and the Batmobile in that version was going to be like a souped up Lincoln Continental. So it was just going to be like a regular car, kind of. Which again, like, it completely.
That's kind of what this one is.
Yeah, when I see the trailer, I'm like, that's totally. I'm getting that exact same kind of vibe. Like, it's just like a car that was souped up or something, and also the Batcave in this trailer is an abandoned subway station, which is really interesting too.
Oh.
So yeah, it just there's a lot of similarities.
Chasm 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think with this trailer, it does a kind of clear distinction in how to handle a different adaptation on a popular character. So, like, if you compare what we've seen of Matt Reeves' Batman to, like, let's say, like, the first trailer for BVS, where that was our introduction to Snyder's Batman, like, they have some things in common. They're brutal. They're fighters. They have tech. They have gadgets. They still have, their money. But it just seems like Matt Reeves stylistically, in terms of, like, where the direction is going, the tone, it seems a lot more in line with, like, it's doing new stuff while also being true to the character. It's not going so radically far away that I think it's going to upset people, like Batman mowing down
machine gunning
Russians.
people down.
Right, because it's like honestly, it's weird, but that is definitely a thing that breaks people's not suspension of disbelief, but kind of respect for the character. Because, like, Batman, like we said, he puts people in comas with his fists. We're okay with that, but we're not really okay with him using a gun just because of what it represents. And for the Batman, it'd be way worse because he has his parents.
Batman.
Yeah, he has their death gun on his chest.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's. I don't know. I like the fact that he has the gun, even though it's kind of weird that
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's kind of weird that in the I guess official logo for it has the bat ears, but on the actual suit it doesn't. It doesn't have the tail or the ears, which I'm like. But it's still like I still think the shape of the bat itself is probably the coolest or my favorite interpretation thus far out of all the movies.
Even the Dark Knight symbol.
I don't like the Dark Knight symbol.
It's
too tiny.
I'm okay with the Dark Knight symbol.
Well,
I don't
the
like
BVS one. It's a big rectangle.
Yeah, I don't like the BVS symbol. But I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Frank Miller design, anyways. So that those two kind of go together. It's a good version of, like, honestly, the Justice League suit I actually like for the most part, aside from the bat symbol. I like the armor on it and how it works. It's just like that and the symbol in the eyes I don't really like.
I will say that the thing I'm curious to see is Matt Reeves had talked about before they revealed the trailer how this is still the people but everything's slightly different. Everything, like, they're taking liberties with certain things. He said from Catwoman to Riddler to even Alfred. Mm-hmm. So, and we heard Alfred in the trailer, but we didn't really see him, which makes me curious as to how they're going to do him. I don't think it's going to be a caretaker or a butler. Maybe they'll go more like the Earth 1 route with Alfred, or they'll do the Big Al thing, which I don't know if they'll do that because I don't even know what
Big Al
sounds like. Big Al sounds like I mean, Andy Serkis ain't a big dude, but
Big Al Pennyworth.
Big Al was supposed to be black in the script too.
I figure that, given his name's Big Al.
Like Fat Albert.
Isn't that so interesting though? A Batman that has no wealth that had to learn to live on the streets.
I think that'd be an interesting concept for a book. I always think that old abandoned scripts should be turned into like mini-series, just because I think they're interesting directions for potential takes. But yeah, I really fuck with this trailer a lot more than I ever expected it to.
Yeah, I like how Batman is also working with the police too. Like he's just on the scene doing detective work.
Yeah, but also the police are corrupt, so clearly there's like a mutual distrust.
Yeah, in the beginning of the trailer, when they're walking into the scene, you can see the cops looking at Batman like weird. They're like, "Why is he here?"
Oh, the Bat Freak is here again. So where do you think? Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, where do you think this movie's gonna fit its one fuck in there? Because you know it's coming.
Oh, he's gonna bang. What's her name? Zoe?
No. I mean the word, not the action.
Oh.
Because the movie's probably gonna be PG-13 to get greater appeal, but
he's
I feel
gonna
like
get one F-bomb like Venom.
Yeah.
Remember Venom? What was the Venom one? He said, "Oh, F it, let's save the world."
Yeah.
That was well used, right?
Yeah, it was weirdly used.
Where'd Aaron go?
It wasn't where I expected it to go.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, we have any final thoughts?
Any thoughts on Catwoman so far? The origin of Catwoman and Penguin in this movie?
I really like Penguin. I wish we got to see more of Catwoman, but the little we did get to see, I think, is solid. It's a solid groundwork for her being a cat burglar. Also, she covers her face because she's not a dumbass. Yeah, because she has the little ears on her hat.
You like cut a beanie out, like eye holes out.
Yeah, I mean it's just what's it called, a baklava or balaclava?
Yeah.
It's a type of, it's like a ski mask.
Baklava, the food?
No. She's just rocking a ski mask essentially, which I'm like, yeah, it seems like a realistic thing that, like, it still has her OG skin tight sexy costume, but she hides her identity, and she, like, it seems like things that someone could do, and she has her little tube pouch and all that.
Any final thoughts before you get out of here?
Yeah, looks great.
This is the longest episode we've done.
Yeah. I have one minor thing to bring up before we close out. Did y'all see any of the other panels?
No. Well, I had it on, like, but it was like in the background, so I don't really.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught the being a boss panel, which had like all the women of color from DC there.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. It was like 6 of the black actresses. Like, first of all, I didn't know they had Blackfire cast for Titans because I don't watch Titans. But it was like Iris West, Blackfire's actress, the new Batwoman, Super Darla, who is Megan Good, and then a Muslim actress from Supergirl, and I think a Hispanic actress from The Flash, or Latina, something. And they're just kind of talking about, like, what their roles mean and representation, stuff like that. And I don't know. I think it was well intentioned, but I also wish there would have been more time to actually talk about how they felt about the portraying of their characters, as opposed to solely what it kind of represented. Because yeah, that's fair. It's cool and always awesome to see representation, but I'm like, what do these characters mean to you? Like, why do you like playing them? I kind of wish we could have delved more also into the actors themselves. But yeah, there were a bunch of other panels there. I guess just kind of going back to what we were talking about at the beginning about how you felt about the event as a whole, because there was a lot of kind of padding events, and I wish they weren't as like ham-fisted in there, because I think DC knows what people wanted to see, and they really spread it out over the course of that 8 hours and tried to find things to fill in between that. But since you didn't have options to like which dome area you wanted to go to, it kind of forces you to sit through it to get to what you actually want to see.
Yeah, and there was no secret movie announcements.
No, there weren't.
Mm-mm. We were deceived. We were lied to.
Oh no, y'all have any final thoughts about DC FanDome before we get out of here?
I like the stuff I saw. Thought it was cool. I didn't really watch the event, but the panel was cool. What I would have liked to see is I heard that there was something like the voices of Batman.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what it was, but I think what was that panel exactly?
If it's what I think it was, I could be wrong. I'm leaving space for me to be wrong. They had like a weird mini crossover with like the voice actors using old clips, where they like cut in. So it was like Kevin Conroy talking to Diedrich Bader, talking to the dude that played Terry McGinnis, and then there was like a fourth Batman in there, and they were like talking to each other for about 5 minutes. It was like a skit for that one. But I think they do have a whole panel planned for part 2, because that would actually be really, really fun to watch, just to talk about experiences with the role and what the character means. There was also, and you had stuff like the Milestone panel. There was the Three Jokers panel. There was something about like where DC's going in the future, as far as like comics go, with Jim Lee and a bunch of other artists. I know I was a little disappointed to hear that Jim Lee thinks that Neil Adams is a big inspiration, because I didn't have the best run-in with Neil.
Yeah, Neil Adams is interesting.
Yeah, that's a nice way to say it.
But I would have, after hearing Matt Reeves talk, I think it would be really cool to see like a round table, like a writers or a directors round table of each of the filmmakers who have done something with Batman, talk about how they view him and like what makes
rest
Batman
in peace, Joel Schumacher.
Really cool to see.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of that, Val Kilmer was supposed to be at FanDome too.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he was gonna be there, which maybe he's part of part 2, but people thought it was gonna be like a secret thing where he would show up and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna release the Schumacher version of Batman Forever" or something.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a thing?
Huh?
I don't know.
Forever?
I don't think about it. No, the Schumacher cut.
Yeah, there's a Schumacher cut that's like 3 hours long. It has like way more footage.
I mean, I'd certainly watch it.
Really?
And it's supposed to be darker too, like less campy and stuff.
Yeah, because I like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Huh.
Yeah, the last person I saw talk about it like publicly on Twitter was Mark Bernardin. Said he had seen it.
Oh yeah, Bernard was actually the host for the Milestone panel. Funny
Yeah,
enough.
the people they're trying to get the Schumacher cut on HBO Max now because of the whole Snyder thing.
Now that I would watch over like a Ayer cut. I really would. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind watching a 3-hour cut of
I
Batman.
don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, I'd be down for a 3-hour cut of Batman Forever, because here's the thing. It may not be the best Batman movie, but I'll be damned, those movies are entertaining as fuck. Like, I know I'd have a fun time with it.
They can be.
It's like, is it The Irishman? No, but I'll have fun. I won't be depressed.
No Ayer cuts though. Ayer's not good.
No, I'm not pushing for an Ayer cut too hard. But yeah, overall, I think DC did a pretty good job handling this. I'm curious as to what Disney is thinking now. What with like, I wonder if now they're gonna decide if they want to try and go ahead and do like a D25 digital or something.
D2020.
Yeah, exactly, and see if like
They gotta show off their Star Wars slate and their Marvel shows and.
yeah, which they could. I'm wondering if Disney had a reaction to this, because I honestly saw some pretty positive reception to it. I thought it was pretty good. It could have been cut. I don't think it needed to be a 24-hour event. I think they could have just said, we're having like the FanDome is consisting of these events from this time to this time, and we'll be replaying it over the course of the day.
That picture of Will Smith that was Feige's reaction to FanDome.
He was sleeping in his mansion, sitting on his bed of millions. But,
right.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it.
Dude, where's the Mandalorian trailer, dude? That shit comes out in like 5 weeks.
That's next week.
As you mention it now, it'll probably drop in like the first week of September.
Also, the Dune trailer. They keep saying it's gonna drop. Like,
oh yeah, I would like to see the Dune trailer. I'm excited. I'm optimistic for a new Dune. But yeah. Oh, did I tell y'all? So remember how Daughtry performed during the show?
No.
I never saw.
Well, that was a thing that happened. Chris Daughtry performed during DC FanDome, playing "Waiting for Superman" and some new song from the band. And behind him was a poster board of Deadpool, clearly covered in Batman like stuff. Which I think I put it in our group chat. I just thought it was really funny. So I posted that along with a bunch of other pictures from the event on the Instagram page at Atlas Comics Elite. So the band liked my post. So that's a funny little note. We've I guess we're verified by Daughtry and Co. now. So check out their new singles. But that's gonna do it for us this week on the shoe. If you're looking for Marvel Luke, you can find him on his social media at Quantum X Paradox. If you're looking for DC Luke, you can find him on his Twitter at Luke Alfonso VA, ALOPHONSO. And then we got y'all two jokers. Nick, where can people find you at?
You guys can find me on social media and YouTube at who's_Nick.
And Aaron, where can people find you at?
You can find me on the Instagram at The Real Aaron Alexander.
All right. And I have been your host. You can find me on my own social media on Instagram and YouTube at Will the Greatest, or alternatively, my YouTube channel, just Will the Greatest. If you have questions, DM us on our Instagram page at Atlas Comics Elite. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Next week, we can get started on talking about that Sony news and whatever stuff we avoided and ignored this week, like that Powerpuff Girls show.
That Sony news was important.
No, not this week. We will talk about it next time. Be good to yourselves. Have a good rest of your week. Peace out.